Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the family meeting AFCON link up right here on your World of Champions SuperSport. It is a bittersweet moment because the tournament is about to come to a close and it's been absolutely amazing. We've had contributors from all around the continent saying their piece, supporting their countries, and it's been nothing but fantastic. We've had people join us from everywhere, as you guys are joining us now. We're live on TikTok, we're live on YouTube, we are live even on your World of Champions right now as we speak, so wherever you are, make sure to jump in because this is going to be one for the books. Like I said, I'm not alone. I am Lemiloko Ntozemnandi Sama. I've got a star-studded lineup. Speaking of the lineup, there has been some out of this world comments made, and I'm here for it. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. The nice thing about the internet is that it lives forever. Whatever you put out there lives forever. So I want us to reflect on this journey that we've had on the AFCON Link Up of a particular somebody from somewhere. I'm not going to name any names. Somebody from somewhere has been making some outrageous comments. And we want to reflect on that. Let's look at some of those comments that have been said right here on AFCON Link Up.
Listen, I have a grin on my face. I have a grin on my outfit. What more? I am reporting live from the kitchen. Behind me, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're cooking Moroccan. If you're hungry, we're cooking Moroccan. And, you guys can't really relate. John told us he's 500 meters away from the stadium, or he's 500 miles away from an AFCON trophy as well. Lothar,
okay.
we need to address the elephants in the room.
Okay,
we need to address the elephants in the room, or the elephant that have left the AFCON room. He said Nigeria is going to put the money where their mouth is. I just want to let the whole of Africa know that there was a $2.5 million incentive added by a private citizen to make sure these boys win the AFCON. So there's a lot on the line here, in addition to whatever CAF is doing. So we do big over here in Nigeria, just so you know. And this is what's going to happen to Morocco today.
Lawton, can you please do an AFCON link up straight after that match, bro? Please host us straight after that match.
I'm just chatting to Nono, and I'm like, we probably need to do one later on tonight because there's a lot of banter.
Wow. So I hope you guys remember all those comments because there's a saying, especially in football, that says the higher they climb, the harder they fall. And it was absolutely amazing to watch. We're going to get into that. But not only did he make these outrageous comments, he also tried to bribe one of our contributors, and I've got evidence of this. Roll the clip. We've got evidence of this, where he was out there in Morocco trying to break some bread with one of our contributors, trying to sway him in not holding him accountable for the comments that were made right here on AFCON Link Up. But cometh the hour, cometh the man. He's going to have to come here and answer for everything that he said on AFCON Link Up because his team is not in the final. His team is not at the final. They've got a bronze. It's the country with more bronze medals than a wishing well. But before we go into that, let me introduce the star-studded lineup. We've got Lawton all the way from Kenya. We've got Akin all the way from Nigeria. We've got Mo all the way representing Egypt and Man United, by the way. And we've got John, the man of many talents and many countries, and a lot more who are going to join us right here on AFCON Link Up. Look, where's Chewy? I don't see him there. He says AFCON medalist. Chewy, come to the front, brother. Come to the front, my brother. Chewy's
not here. Chewy's not here.
You know what, gents? It's been a great tournament. Many have been said, and Akin, I have to say, and I apologize to you in advance because I did say when we spoke that I know it's not every Nigerian fan who. Oh wow, he's changed the shirt to Senegal shirt now. Where's the Nigerian shirt, Chewy?
That's my brother.
Jean-Luc Chewy's not here, and his cousin. Commiserations to the Nigerians, they tried hard. Wow. But we, Senegal, we're going to get this cup.
Chewy has sent in a doppelganger. It's fine. It's fine. But we have to address the elephant in the room, guys. A lot has been said regarding this Nigerian team. A lot of confidence, a lot of content has been put out. The players themselves have been putting out. We've seen more of the Nigerian bus than we have seen potential to win the final. So I want to understand what went wrong with Nigeria, because we're supposed to see them in the final. Chewy, we'll leave you for last because you've had your say. I want to start with Akin. Akin, where do you think it went wrong for Nigeria, for us not to see them in the final today?
I don't want to sound like a beta loser, but I would say the officiating. Yeah, the officiating was quite abysmal, in the semis. I know a couple of you guys have mentioned before as well that, hey, let's be careful about officiating, especially for Morocco. But actually did play its part in this game. I saw the players getting frustrated. Yes, Morocco did play well. They were intense. I wanted us to silence the crowd earlier. Didn't get to do that, maybe because they didn't also play as well. But I thought we didn't have a bit of we didn't hold the ball as much as we should have, really. Our attackers didn't show any individual brilliance as well. So I hate to sound like, hey, I'm making excuses, but the officiating also did play.
It sounds like excuses. Yeah. And I think we're going to hear more of them.
Yeah, the officiating actually did play a part, but hey, and obviously Chukwueze's penalty. That was the turning point for me. That should have hit the back of the net and it changed the whole.
But you see, here's the thing. On that point of the Chukwueze penalty, right? We saw a lot of headlines, we saw a lot of news, saw a lot of reactions. Chukwueze missing that penalty, and the coach's feedback after the match was that he's one of the best penalty takers in that Nigerian squad. But come the third place playoff, when it was time to go for penalties, he was substituted out right at the death of, you would think that if the coach is saying, hey, look, he's one of the best penalty takers we've got, but then third place playoff, you're taking him off. Like, what's the story? Something is inconsistent there.
Yeah, but I think let's give him kudos to it. It's not easy to play penalty. It was brave enough to actually even take one. Yeah. I think he should have done it with more conviction, especially against a goalie like Buildup. It's actually it's a good penalty stopper as well. But like I said, we gave it all. We played. We didn't score, which is something else. We're the top scorers in this tournament. But Morocco found a way to stop us. They've got the meanest defense, and obviously against other West African teams they've played so far as well. They've also come. I think they have not lost so far. So let's give them kudos. Let's give them credit.
We're not giving Morocco kudos. We're not doing that.
I'm with you on this. I wish I had the Senegalese jersey as well, because
the best. I'm Senegalese, man. Mostly I'm Senegalese, right? I'm going to speak a little bit to your point about taking Chukwueze off when it's penalties. He started the whole game, right? So, fun fact: the captain Moses Simon also played the whole game. He got sent for doping right after, right? So fatigue must have set in. That's why Chukwueze was not going to take that penalty. I mean, when you have that amount of energy, what?
Wait, what does doping have to do with anything? Because that's a random thing that happens at any match. What is?
It's time for penalties. Fatigue sets in. So that's why they had to take him off closer to them. He wasn't going to do the penalties. And maybe it's a psychological
Let me jump
thing.
in. Listen, I'm with Lemmy on this one. If your coach is thinking, I need this guy to get some sort of retribution, some sort of closure, you give him the penalty. I mean, all he needed to do is walk up to the 18-yard box, probably 5 steps back, and bang it. And I think Nigerians forgive him about it. Why would he come and say he's the best penalty taker, then on the flip side, bench him or substitute him during that one moment where he deserves to probably score that penalty, put his hands up and apologize to the entire Nigerian nation and say, listen, I cost you a place in the final, because if he had banged that goal, probably we'd be having a totally different discussion, but thank God. But he had an opportunity to, of course, do something and get back in the favor of the Nigerian citizens.
100%, right? And, like I said, there's some sort of inconsistency that's coming from the Nigerian camp, because we're hearing a lot of excuses, right? Where before before they got knocked out, there was so much talk, so much confidence, and now we're seeing videos circulating about, hey, Big Stan's towel was taken off of behind the post, as if that towel was going to score in that match, you know. But what does this say about Eric's job? Like, you know, it begs the question again: does Nigeria keep their coach going forward? You know, especially that they're not in the World Cup. You know, do you say, you know what, let's get rid of the coach, get a new one, let's build to the next AFCON, the next World Cup, or do they stick with Eric? Well, what do they do in this situation? Do they keep the coach?
Citizen Mo, I like you to answer that based off of what you've seen.
Okay. Well, what do I think?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they should keep the coach. Like, I haven't really heard, because I'm not really like in tune with the Nigerian team news and stuff, but I haven't really seen that much talk about what's happening behind the scenes. But from what I'm seeing as an outsider, like just watching the team, the team looks great. Like, even when they disagreed and the whole Osman situation happened, they came back from that really well, and they won the next game. I think the way they play, I think the style that they play is really good. I don't think they should kick out the manager. No, not at all. Unless there's obviously stuff behind the scenes, but that's for obviously them to figure out.
Well, I guess we'll see, because as it stands, fun fact, the last time Nigeria won bronze, Morocco went to win AFCON.
And we Senegalese.
That was 1976. And this is a big opportunity for Morocco to kind of like put their hand up and, you know, make this a big celebration for themselves. But what lessons does Nigeria take into AFCON? Mr. Senegal, I don't know, because you're representing Chewy. You're not Chewy, right? I think you said you're Chewy's doppelganger.
I'm going to be very objective. That Nigeria versus Morocco game, you know, when they talk about dark arts football, bro, I witnessed dark arts football. I don't think you understand how crazy. Before the kickoff, they were seizing the flags of fans. When you're leading up to when you compare the Algeria-Nigeria game, the DJ in the stadium was busting. The hits on point. The DJ at the stadium for the Morocco game, it wasn't happening. We had like maybe 2% capacity in that place. That place was not, it was hell. They were seizing the flags, they were seizing the towels, they were scattering the fans. The call went the other way. It was...
You know what? I need us to get... You said you're going to be objective. That doesn't sound very objective. I need us to bring somebody who was at the stadium as well. John, I need you to jump in here, my brother. You know they say there's two sides to every story.
In the stadium.
I need to hear from somebody who was actually there as well.
Yes. So as an objective person, as someone who also brokered the change from Chewy to Monsieur Chewy in the Senegalese side, I was there and I watched and I saw some of the things that Chewy is talking about, but I also saw the amount of pressure that these Moroccan team and the fans put on the Super Eagles. So it was an incredible atmosphere. I don't think I've ever been in a stadium that's so loud, full of people that just are screaming from the beginning to the end and pushing their team and elevating it. And I think that at the end of the day, that's what led to, was one of the factors that led to the defeat of this Super Eagles team. They just really crumbled under all that pressure. And one thing that I really did not like from this Super Eagles team is from the beginning to the end, they were just complaining. They were complaining about the refereing, they were complaining about this and that, and it seemed like that also took them outside of the match. So, listen.
John,
calm down. John is talking.
Raheem pulls his shirt and he gets a yellow card for being fouled.
Chewy, calm down.
Listen, there were some mistakes.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, Chewy, we have to understand that in football, there's always a great advantage that goes to the home team. Is it unsportsmanlike? We could argue that it definitely could have been very unsportsmanlike, right? But was it against any rules, is what we would say. What was it that affected the guys? Because you guys held out for a whole 90 minutes. You had 90 minutes to change the course of Nigeria's fate and make it into the final. Then there was penalties, right? All the stuff that happens outside, it happens even in league football, right? We saw a stream where we saw a stream.
Talk about the reason
where ISO Speed was in Algeria, and it was very hostile there.
Just to interject, I mean, we spoke about it on the last show. We mentioned that some of these guys are seasoned Champions League players. They play for some really amazing clubs all over Europe. I genuinely feel, and I think probably I'd love to hear Akin's thoughts about this before we head on over to Egypt and talk about the other team that didn't make it. I feel like the Nigerian team played the occasion, not the game. They came in to play the semi-final, not this one game, 90 minutes in front of them. Because, I mean, obviously Morocco should have done, or that's all they could do, the dark cards. And then once the game starts, it was literally all about the game of football. Akin, do you feel like your team played the occasion
100%.
and forgot about the game?
Yeah, I think we played within ourselves, let's be honest. There are a lot of guys I expected more, like Iwobi, for example. I don't know if it's more about him not, coming through on the day or more Morocco getting their tactics right. But we saw that Iwobi was targeted. We couldn't actually even move the ball through lines at all. Really, there was no creativity. Even Osimhen couldn't really. We only had 2 shots on goal the entire match. This coming from a team that been having the most shots on target in every game. So Morocco actually did their own work very well. And apart from even on the pitch antics, apart from having a Ghanaian ref who is a hero right now, apart from having somebody on a South African on VAR, all of that. But I still feel if we had played to our strengths, if we had calmed down, not let the occasion get us. I saw the guys now complaining. They felt it was us against the Moroccans, on the pitch. But these are seasoned guys that play the way. I think they should have been able to put that aside and silence the crowd. We didn't do that. I said this the last time. If we can find a way to silence the crowd, we'll win that game. And I hope, I'm sure we'll talk about that in a bit as well. I'm sure Senegal will have watched that match and then to expect. Yeah.
I mean, in as much as we'd love to sit here and kumbaya over Nigeria's loss, there's only 2 spots that could be taken in that final. And, it's already taken. Another team that didn't make it into the final was Egypt. It was an opportunity for Mo Salah to stamp his name in African history, get an 8th star for the Pharaohs. They themselves are probably looking back at the tournament and saying they could have done better. They faced the same obstacles that Nigeria faced, because at the end of the day, you have to, like Lowton said, you have to play the 90 minutes. And Egypt as well, they didn't make it. I mean, what does that say about Salah's, legacy in Africa, him not making? And I want to jump to Mo with this one. What does this say about, does this taint Salah's legacy, him not being able to help Egypt get that 8th star? Or is there another opportunity for Salah to come back, redeem himself in this AFCON tournament? Mo?
I mean, for him to come back in 2027 or whenever the next one is being held, I don't think he will come back. I think he will probably retire internationally before that. And about his legacy, I genuinely don't think unfortunately, he hasn't really helped us much in a sense, in the African world. He hasn't obviously won us AFCON. He's taken us to 2 finals. He got really unlucky with one. He lost on pens. He couldn't take us to one of the World Cups. He took us to the other. So his legacy is a bit in the air, but that still doesn't really take away anything from his career outside of that.
So I want to say...
Okay, just a question more. Where does he rank when it comes to the greats, Egyptian greats? Let me put it that way. The men that have played for this pharaohs. The Aboutrikas, Zidane. Yeah, where does he rank when it comes to being an Egyptian? In the Premier League in Europe, he's a superstar. The Prince of Egypt. Yeah. But where does he rank amongst the Egyptians?
If you ask any Egyptian, they'll tell you Aboutrika is the biggest player, the biggest Egyptian player, the most effective Egyptian player, the one that won with us every single AFCON. He was very decisive in moments that we needed someone to be decisive. Mo Salah hasn't had that. He hasn't had these moments in AFCON specifically. Within World Cup qualification, he did help us quite a lot. He literally carried us to a World Cup. But within AFCON, he didn't really help us to the title. So I put him second, and I'd only put him second just because of that. If he literally just won that one AFCON where he reached the penalties, he would have been first by a mile, because we've seen what he's done in Europe. No African player has ever done that. He's up there with like world star greats, not just the African greats.
Yeah.
So it's a really hard question. Like, it's really hard to put him second because we just know who he is and who he has been for like European football. But when it comes to Egypt, it is Abu Trika, let's be honest.
Noted. We would still think that he will still be one of the greats, but there's more to dive into regarding AFCON, and I think we need this break. We need a Monsieur Chewy there to grab a glass of water, just take a walk around the hotel there and just calm down a little bit. But more to dive into AFCON. We're talking everything ahead of this final that's playing later tonight. But until then, let's just jump into a quick break, let everybody cool down, and then we'll talk more AFCON right after this.
Surround yourself with success at Regent Business School and start your journey into a world of innovation, inclusivity, and excellence.
I love trying to go faster. I love the tech behind our racing.
Brought to you by Toyota. Lead the way.
You want football that's absolutely unpredictable. Football with no respect for ranking, league, or history.
For the first time in their history, there's a new name on the FA Cup.
Then you want the FA Cup. It's knockout football, starting this January. It's on SuperSport. Proudly brought to you by Sporting Bet. Betting amplified.
SuperSport Blitz on Channel 200 brings you the latest sports updates 365 days a year.
Under-20 champions South Africa. What a performance from Lawrence.
With a team of journalists and presenters at sports venues around the world, we've got you covered.
The start of another brand new
heartbeat of surf culture.
Right here at Dobsonville Stadium is definitely a player to watch.
Stay informed with all our previews and reviews.
We're doing good things as a team, and may this just be the stepping stone of greater things to come.
Stay ahead with fixtures, results, logs, and broadcast times for every major local and international sporting event, 24 hours a day as sports news unfolds. Stay in touch and follow us on X for all your sporting headlines on Africa's premier sports info channel. SuperSport Blitz. Proudly brought to you by My Way.
In the heart of every champion lies a journey, one of resilience, passion, and dedication. It's a journey that starts as a dream and is fueled by ambition. A journey made of the relentless pursuit of greatness. And greatness isn't given, it's earned. With every challenge, goal, and celebration, it's a journey that inspires generations. And one that proves that we are made of more. 10Bet, official betting partner of Bafana Bafana.
And we are back like we never left right here on the AFCON Link Up. If you're joining us from any other platform other than your World of Champions 202, please leave a comment, join into the conversation, whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on YouTube. Please make sure to join into the conversation. It got a little bit heated in the first segment, but understandably so. Nobody wants to lose out on this prestigious tournament that is AFCON, the biggest in the continent. Speaking of which, this year's hosts are in the final. They've won quite a bit heading into this. They won Chan earlier on. They won Under-20 World Cup. And the last time they won this is 1976, I believe, in Ethiopia. So now they've got an opportunity to bring smiles back to the Moroccans, but they are facing a Senegalese team that has been actually flying under the radar, not too much noise. Haven't said much. We saw Sadio Mane when they made it into the final, just telling everybody to calm down. They barely even celebrated that semi-final win. Just telling everybody to calm down, just focus. But we need to try and understand what is it that makes this Moroccan team so special. Chewy, what's happening there, my brother?
Before we go into the Moroccan conversation, the dark arts conversation, let me take a quick break to give a shout out to those checking in on social media. I'm on TikTok right now. I see the Kenyan flags. I see Tanzanian flags. A lot of Senegalese are checking in. I don't know why Ghanaians are in this comment section. I see Angola in here, Uganda, Dubai is here.
I don't think Abigail's going to be too happy with you, bro.
Flag. Cameroonians are checking in. Ethiopia, I see you. Everybody's saying Senegal. A lot of love for Senegal in this flag. I see Qatar in here. Just shout out to you guys. We see you. And before we, again, jump into that, I want to wrap up in the last conversation. If you guys are just joining us, we're talking about Egypt and Salah's legacy and how it affects since he lost to Nigeria, our good friends, in the third place game. I was in the dressing room-ish, the press zone after the Algeria's loss to Nigeria, which effectively signaled the end of possibly Mahrez's career. And my man stood there and he answered the questions with grace. He just head up. Mo Salah never came out of the dressing room. Legend has it that he's still in there. I'm serious. All the players have to leave. Salah never came out of the dressing room. The Nigerian players left, and typically the winning team leaves second or sometimes first. But Salah never came out.
So he's saying Salah still in that dressing room.
He's probably still in Casablanca in that dressing room. He never came out. And we didn't say it. No Salah.
Clearly Chewy's not happy, we have to.
I'm not even exaggerating. I promise you, Salah never came out.
Okay, it's an emotional thing. It's an emotional setting.
On that note, gents, we need to talk Morocco, the host nation. What makes them special, other than the fact that it's they're hosting the tournament, they've got the home ground advantage, but the quality of football has been undoubtable as well. Let's jump to Abigail. I think we've got Abigail on the call. Abigail, I need to pick your brain and understand what is it that makes this specific Moroccan team so special and why they earned their place in this final. I think we can't hear Abigail's audio. We can't hear your audio, Abigail.
So as Abigail's trying to sort out
money, the Moroccan audio sends them in Ghana.
Chewy, hold on.
Hold on. Go ahead, Lawton.
Abigail is trying to sort out the audio. Let me jump in first, and let me. Honestly, I'll be candid. I think no African country has invested in football to the extent of Morocco. So a lot of the results that they're enjoying, a lot of things that we are seeing about this Moroccan team, of course, at the World Cup, at the under-20s, at CHAN, it's down to a lot of systemic improvement. It's down through the pipeline, a lot of intentional investments. And, they're hosting the World Cup very soon. So it's something that they've been working on for the longest time. Now, I know Chewy's going to come in and talk about the dark cards. I mean, that's definitely part of the game. But most importantly, I think we need to give credit where it's due and just celebrate the fact that...
He doesn't even deny it.
No, I'm just saying we need to consciously celebrate the work, the intentional work that has been put. And listen, the AFCON has been a long time coming. Won it the last time in 76, as Lemmy just told us, in Ethiopia. It's definitely not really coming home. It's home now. So I don't think any other team can take it away from them. I think they were prepared for this occasion.
I wanna bring John into the conversation. Man versus John. I don't know if we've got two Johns at the moment right now, but man versus John, right? Like Yes, Chewy's arguing about dark arts and all of that. We all know it's part of the game. You know from our local league that things like this happen, right? But like Lowton is saying, we cannot shy away from the fact that there was a lot of investment that went into this Moroccan team. There's a lot of belief, and there's also the fact that players like we can't talk about Morocco and not talk about the likes of Ibrahim Diaz, right? There's players like that who've put their hand up and have really shown up for the Moroccan side. How strong are they going into this final? And do you think they've got what it takes to, knock somebody out that has been seen as the underdog, which is Senegal?
Yeah, I think Morocco can actually do it, because if we mustn't forget, Morocco went to the semi-finals of the World Cup. And now Diaz has come in and has taken Morocco to the next level. And their style of football that they play, that very modern game, very hybrid. I know they play a 4-3-3 system, and then they switch to a 4-1-4-1 system. And the wing-backs inverting and overlapping. It's like the new modern game. They've taken the game forward and they've gone to the next level. So I think Morocco could possibly take it. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be one good game to enjoy. But yeah, I think Morocco can actually do it.
I see we've got a new guest with us there, Hussein. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Hussein, are you there?
Morocco. He's Moroccan.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, there we go. There he is. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good.
So we're talking Morocco right now. We're talking the pressure.
From Nigeria.
We might need to kick Chewy out of this conversation. Yeah. But anyway, Hussein, we're talking how important it is for Morocco to win this final and the pressure that comes with it. From a fan's perspective, from the nation's perspective, what are the expectations? We know you've demanded that this team wins this AFCON because it means so much. What's the atmosphere like there in Morocco?
It's very, very mean for Moroccans so much to win this AFCON, because we really need it. And Moroccan team, it's been very, very long. They didn't win any cup or anything. So Moroccan fans and Moroccan players, they really, really need this AFCON to win this final. And we're ready for this final. And we're confident about ourselves for this AFCON.
Allow me to
go ahead, Lowton. Yeah. Go ahead,
Hussein. I mean, of course, there's a lot of pressure because you guys are playing at home, and of course, some of the superstars that are in this particular team. I mean, I'd love to know from your perspective as a big fan or a joint fan of Morocco, because I supported Morocco at this African Cup of Nations as well. If unfortunately you don't win it this year, what kind of disappointment? I mean, tell us what would it mean to the Moroccan people if you don't win it this year?
It's like it's gonna mean me it's gonna hurt us, because we do everything for this AFCON. We host it. We support our team. We do everything. So 100%.
Everything.
So win it. We do everything. Yes, we do everything.
You did everything. You took all the tickets. You got the new rep. You did everything.
Forget about this Senegalese guy. Forget about
it. This guy is hurt. He's supposedly Senegalese in the final, but he's hurt. We don't know what's going on there.
He's speaking like a Nigerian.
I need to bring more into the conversation, man. We talk Morocco, we talk how great they are. Hussein has expressed and filled us in on the preparation that went and the anticipation that went into this AFCON to try and push the boys and make sure that they get to the final, which they've got, right. But we can't also overlook who they are facing. We've got a Senegalese team led by one of the African greats who are, being overlooked. I mean, you can see in the conversations that are happening on social media, most of it are about the host nation, Morocco, the investment into the team, the support that people have come. But there's this team that has kind of faced its own hurdles. Chewy, Nigeria wasn't the only team that faced hurdles.
Morocco invested in the comment section too. That's why you're seeing all that.
Hold on. So Senegal also faced their own hurdles, but they're kind of sticking to the game plan. That's the sense that I'm getting here, that they focus, it's eyes on the prize. Yes, they've raised whatever concerns that they've experienced, but they've got quite a strong team, right? And What is it about the Senegalese team that's making us overlook them, even though they're currently sitting in the final?
Listen, I mean, the mainly just they're tactically very, very, very strong. Like with the Egypt game, first of all, we could have easily given them a bit of a challenge. We could have easily maybe pushed a little bit harder, but they were very, very organized defensively, moving the ball forward in the attacks. They're really, really organized. They have a really, really good team. Iliman Ndiaye is so underrated. I'm a City supporter. I want him to come City. That's how good he is. They have such an underrated team, and I don't know how they've gone so under the radar to the point where people weren't even favoring them as contenders for the title. But they are just as good a team as any of the other teams. They're just as good as a Nigeria. They're just as good as a Morocco. So they will give Morocco a hard game. But I guess we'll see what happens in that game. You never know. You never know.
Well, let me just jump in. Of course, we've heard a few of the conversations that are happening from Morocco, and Chui probably will be in a better position to tell us, what is exactly happening on ground. Senegalese fans not really getting tickets for this particular game, a lot of pressure in terms of trying to get Senegalese into the stadium for this final. If you were the manager for this Senegalese team, how do you galvanize everybody and make them just focus on the game and forget about not having a training ground, not having security, showing up on a train, and all this other stuff that has literally happened over the last couple of days? How would you bring their minds to, hey, we only have 90 and probably 120 minutes, and slay Goliath here? How would you galvanize this team?
Going into it, it's literally you just have to understand it is 90 minutes of just football. If you go into it with that mentality and not think of it as the final against the 80,000 fans and whatever other dark arts Stewie was talking about, if you just go in there literally thinking about the football you're going to play, you keep in line, you keep you follow the tactics, the system you've been playing. They've done it all tournament and no one has batted an eye towards them, but they're very, very organized. Just stick to the plan and they will beat them. Obviously, as Morocco could beat them as well. It's a really, really strong team, but just stick to the plan and you could very much beat them just as much as they can.
Men versus John, this is a great time to bring you in because I see you're composed now. You were crying there with Chewy's crash out, understandably so. But we've got a Senegalese team that has never scored in a final, and we've got a Moroccan team that's looking very fierce. It's a tightly contested final, and like Mo has just said, it could be an advantage to them being so underrated because they come in as the underdog. But realistically speaking, in a tournament that naturally any tournament favors the host if the host is is this far deep into the conversation, into the tournament rather. But going into a final where you've got everything that has happened in the past week that Lowton has mentioned, how do you then make sure that you capitalize on that 90 minutes? It's a great question that Lowton asked. How does a team like Senegal go into this final, even though they might have been in a position where the tactics have supposedly been seen because they don't have privacy to their training ground. They've had these hurdles that they've had to jump with transportation and hotels. But the officials have come out with a statement saying, hey, look, we've played everything by the rule. How do you then motivate this team to still go in there and give it 150%?
Okay, not to sound too morbid, but obviously they're African players. So you remind them of where they come from and how far they've made it. So you just got to tap into that mindset of where they grew up, where they used to play back in the day. And now obviously they're on the bigger stage. And then when they're bigger stage, they'll perform. That's all you got to do. Just tap into them mentally and make sure they change nothing. The way they've played all along, same systems, same game plan, same everything, change nothing. Like Mo said, it's just 90 minutes they got to get through, and they must just concentrate on the 90 minutes. And don't let the game get to extra time, because once it gets to extra time, the 12th man, the Moroccan fans, get involved, and then the pressure builds Senegalese team. So make sure to finish the game, wrap it up in 90 minutes.
John, on the same breath, is it possible, or how can the Senegalese team turn this pressure on them to be on the Moroccan players? I mean, 80,000 people are showing up expecting you to win. I mean, if you're going out into that particular arena tonight, how do you spin the narrative? How do you go and give the Moroccans the pressure? Because, I mean, I'm thinking if you score first, all of a sudden the 80,000 people are on your back. They forget about Senegal. They focus on their team now. I mean, what other strategies would you give? I mean, because we've complained, we've said about hotels, we've spoken about Chewy's problems, we've written letters to CAF, etc. I mean, how do you just spin this narrative and go like, you know what? I think we can get it.
No. That's a tricky question. But like you said, the first thing they must do is within the 10 minutes, get an early goal, silence the crowd. Or whatever happens, you've got to make sure to silence the crowd. And then the game should be fun from there. Then the pressure will be off them a little bit.
That's more. Interesting. Hussein, you've been looking at all Hussein, of us. I want to ask you, brother. You've been listening to us talking about your team and obviously how to stop your team. Hussein, I'd love to know from your side what happens tonight if Morocco doesn't win the game.
Africa celebrates.
No, first, Lowton, I want to add, Hussein, I want to add to Lowton's question, right? The first question is that, what happens to Morocco if you guys do not win? And second of all, Chewy has been crashing out, accusing your team of dark arts. What's your response to that? Like, we know it's part of the game, but I mean, should teams be better prepared to come face you guys? What does this Hussein, look like if Morocco doesn't win?
Hussein, I have a third question. Wait, the third question. When you guys lose today, will you get a refund? Will you get a refund?
Refund of what?
Hussein, forget about that Senegalese guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happens if Morocco doesn't win? Yeah.
It doesn't win. It's like I couldn't believe that like Morocco were not gonna win today. And we're brothers. Senegal and Morocco were brothers. So each one wins. So we're gonna celebrate them. We're gonna be happy. But with like confidence about ourselves. Like we hosting, we do everything. And Moroccans will be plenty at the stadium and supporting players, and we will win. And my prediction for today is like 1-0.
That's a threat.
1-0.
That was a threat. You see, he can't even envision them losing. He said he threatened we would win. Guys.
You know what? No, guys. You know what? I
know what that sounds like. I was there.
First protocol, I'm going to ask the producers to just call an ambulance and send it to Chewy's hotel room. His blood pressure is spiking right now, and I'm concerned. I'm really concerned. So, with that being said, I need us to go to another break. Chewy, I need you to take a deep breath in. I need Man vs. John to compose himself there because he can barely... But we're going to talk more AFCON and take predictions right after this break.
Earn up to 7.35% interest and keep your money agile with the NetBank Just Invest account. Pay no monthly fees or commission. Invest in under 2 minutes on the Money app. Get money fit with NetBank.
Meet our mole, Alexander Hale. I would never knowingly betray my own country. If they suspect that you're compromised, you're dead.
Cheers.
I don't know who I can trust anymore.
GWM, go with more.
In the heart of every champion lies a journey, one of resilience, passion, and dedication. It's a journey that starts as a dream and is fueled by ambition. A journey made of the relentless pursuit of greatness. And greatness isn't given, it's earned. With every challenge, goal, and celebration, it's a journey that inspires generations. And one that proves that we are made of more. 10Bet, official betting partner of Bafana Bafana.
And we're back, AFCON link up. If you are in and around Joburg, there is some action that you can join in on, which is 86 Public, an official SuperSport partner venue. You can join in with some fellow football fans to catch the AFCON final between Senegal and Morocco. I can tell you now, you don't have to worry about the dark arts there because it is an official SuperSport partner venue. You'll be safe there. You'll be watching and enjoying in on the action. And speaking of which, we are heading into the final, the end of the AFCON tournament now. Senegal versus Morocco. It is a big one, and I can see that John is out and about there, ready to, are you going to the stadium, bro? I see you're having a young walk.
Yeah.
Or you're just putting in your steps. What's going on there?
I'm trying to get to the 10,000 steps, but more importantly, I'm just at the stadium. So you see a little bit behind. The stadium's right there, so I'm waiting to, be done connecting with you guys. and like Chewy was saying, things are very traumatized.
Here.
Yeah. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. Chewy has changed his name. I brokered that deal. If you remember, there's a video that leaked of me and him breaking some bread. It was basically to have him to come to the dark side, but the darker Senegalese side. So he's joined us, and it seems like Senegal might be winning tonight.
Oh, okay. I was worried because I was about to ask you to blink twice in case Chewy forced you to be making bread with him there in Morocco. but much has been said about, building up to this final, the atmosphere that's in Morocco. And that's what I'm mostly, just want to ask you about. What is the feeling in Morocco? Because we've heard from Hussein, who says, look, the expectation is that Morocco is undoubtedly winning this, right? But we know with football, it's always about who performs best in that 90 minutes. But what's the atmosphere like that side? Is there a sense of already celebration, counting our chickens before they hatch? What's the vibes like there in Morocco? This is for you, John.
Oh, yeah, the vibes are really, really good. Chewy was mentioning how about in Rabat, people are really excited. Everyone's wearing red, etc. But it's not only in Rabat; it's all the way from Casablanca. So I drove here from Casablanca, and everywhere people are just making noise, really getting excited for this final. And I was at the third place match yesterday that Chewy's cousin won because he's a AFCON medalist, like he likes to remind the rest of us. And you could see how excited all these Moroccans were. They're excited. And it seems like, to be honest, this was their AFCON for the Moroccan fans, because they enjoyed every single minute of it. They pushed for the Nigerian team to win. In the end, they did end up winning tonight.
I wonder why.
And it's funny because I had some Nigerian fans behind me, and they're like, why didn't they support us on Wednesday? And I was like, I wonder why. But anyway, it was a good game. And I think that tonight's going to be a really, really good game. You see a lot of people already starting to walk in. The traffic is starting to build up. People are just getting really excited because, like you mentioned several times, since 1976, a long, long time, 1976. And so it's going to be a historic moment, whatever happens. We know who you're rooting for, Lamy, but, at the end of the day, may the best team win tonight.
Yeah, no, thank you. John, you've been absolutely amazing throughout this AFCON link-up show. Thank you very much for being part of the journey with us, and I hope you enjoy the game. Do not be influenced by a certain somebody from Nigeria breaking bread with you by force. Just enjoy the game and, root for whoever you want to root for. But thank you so much for joining us, bro. We have to also welcome Christina, who's in with us all the way from Zambia. Christina, I'm sure you've seen all the madness that has been going on. You've heard all the accusations. You've heard all the rumors, as per somebody from Nigeria. I want to get your thoughts building up to the final. What are your thoughts on both teams?
Wait, Christina, before you give your thoughts, I love that hot pick number on you. That looks nice. That actually looks nice.
And I'm so sorry, Chewy. I'm actually at church. I was praying for you. I just wanted to make sure that your heart is okay. I was rooting for you.
I like your outfit, by the way. I really like that hot pick number.
You know, the one thing I would like you guys to do, I saw you play back a number of videos. You should have played back the fact that I kind of predicted Morocco going all the way to the final. Remember when you wore the judge hat, Slemmy, that time? You kind of made that prediction. So now talking about today's final, the only thing I'm sad about is the fact that Senegal is playing in Nigeria. You guys had actually mentioned earlier that Nigeria was complaining about so many things before the match. The stuff I'm seeing online about the Senegalese FA and what they're complaining about, and there was something about a press conference that was going to go on, and they were saying there's no need for them to play. They might as well just give it to Morocco. Crazy stuff going on online concerning today's game. But I really wish they could just focus on getting into the game and winning it because they have an opportunity to win it.
Christina, what is your favorite show to watch? Do you like reality TV?
I do.
Now imagine, girlfriend, stay with me, all right? Imagine if you're sitting down, you have your glass of sangria, wine, and you're trying to watch a show, and like there's noise outside. You can't focus on the drama. Like there's things happening around, and like. But
that's part of the game. Like tactics like that are part of the game. Like I said earlier on, Chewy, as to whether it's good sportsmanship or not, that we can definitely say it's bad sportsmanship, right?
100%.
But it's not new. This is not new tactics to football.
And this is Africa, Chewy.
What's that, Luton?
And I'm saying, and this is Africa. It happens a lot everywhere.
100%. 100%. Okay. Let's because now you're on the darker side with John with Senegal. Let's jump into predictions, right? I wanted to get your thoughts on moments, but we're running out of time. We have to go straight into predictions. I want to start with Men versus John. Give me your prediction for this final, brother. Quick one.
Senegal snatch it very late, either 2-1 or 1-0, but late goal from Senegal.
Yeah. 2-1. Okay. Hussein is not going to be happy with that. Hussein, let's go to you. What's your prediction for this final?
I already said my prediction is 1-0. 1 to Morocco, 0 to Senegal.
Wow. Okay. Very bold. That's a champion score. We call that a champion score and fitting for this occasion. Let's go, Lowton. Lowton, I'm interested to hear your take, bro, because you've got the Moroccan shirt on, but you're very level-headed. You're not like Chewy there crashing out or give me your prediction, bro.
Listen, I'm going to go for a 0-0 regulation time and probably Morocco nicks it in extra time 1-0.
Okay. Christina, give me your prediction.
I'm going to go with Lowton's 0-0 in regulation time. I actually think it might go all the way to penalties. I really, really wish Senegal could win, but I think it's going to Morocco. I'm going to stick with what I said 2 episodes ago. I think it's going to Morocco. I don't want it to, but I think it's going to. So that's my prediction.
Okay, Chewy, I think we already know what your prediction is going to go like, but give us a quick one. 5-1 Senegal. That is an interesting prediction. But wherever you're tuning into the show from, whether you're joining us from YouTube or from TikTok, you know very well you can catch that game on your World of Champions. We've got our team that's currently setting up right now, our team of analysts and our main anchor, Thomas, who are currently in studio in Randburg, gearing up to give us in-depth analysis pre-game, halftime, and post-match. So it'll be interesting to see who wins this, and I think everybody rooting for their team is really hoping for, if not anything, a spectacular game. Let's get final comments from my co-anchors. I've got a feeling we need to put Chewy last, so let me go with Lowton. Lowton, my brother, it's been a great AFCON link-up. Give us your final comments about this tournament and the show.
Listen, absolutely. So much love we've received from obviously the entire continent, Shagan, to everybody that's logged in on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook, all the platforms. But most importantly, after the final whistle tonight, my team will officially qualify for next year's African Cup of Nations. Can't wait to welcome all you guys at home. So we've already qualified. See you guys in Kenya.
Chewy, quick one, please. We've heard the dark arts, we've heard the complaints, and we've seen you crashing out the whole show. Give us, wow. Trust Chewy to give us a dark arts comment. But from our side, Akin, thank you so much for representing the good side of Nigeria, brother, because your brother there, he's been a handful. But to everybody who's contributed on the show, thank you so much. This has been a beautiful, beautiful AFCON link-up series. It's been a beautiful tournament. There's been ups and downs for most teams, but to the two that are standing in the final, we wish you nothing but good luck. For those who are joining from TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, we appreciate you so much. And everybody watching on Channel 202, Your World of Champions, stay tuned as we build up to the final of 2025 AFCON. Signing out, it is the AFCON link-up.
Okay.
Alright, let's go. Here we go. Almost there.
Where the first drive is the beginning of a brand new chapter. Let Tata Tiago take you there from only $2,450 per month. T's and C's apply.
First rules first. Tennis is and always will be a gentleman's game. Keep the court disturbance free. Dress codes will be strictly enforced. Leave the play to the professionals. Remain seated during play. Children should be seen, not heard. Players and spectators should never interact. Noise must be kept to a minimum. And above all, players must maintain decorum.
Tennis in Australia hits different. Catch all the action from the Australian Open live on 3 broadcast and 2 streaming channels. SuperSport's coverage is proudly brought to you by M&G Investments.
Umnyaka Lumusha, a DSTV Diski Challenge remains the same talent pipeline. After a 6-year absence, iDiski Buyela Nyamazane Stadium this coming weekend promises to be a blast from the past. Dikwena Tametsi will sink or swim when they face New Look Amazulu on Saturday at 1 p.m. Asasi. Goalkeeper stepping the wrong way. Later, log leaders Orlando Pirates will be looking at stamping authority against not-so-gallant Marumo at 3 p.m. Sunday will not be for lovers this time when Skukune take on struggling Orbit College at 1 p.m. Later on, Chiefs have a score to settle against Masandawana at 3 p.m. Trinity takes a shot. Amakosi are winless against Sundowns in their last 5 meetings. Iolalibonene mzala. Siyabuya kule weekend. #Sivuta manje.
"2014, I remember it like it was yesterday. The game meant so much to us. Rona, hungry for success, and our passion knew no bounds. When the DSTV Diski Challenge emerged, what a pivotal moment in South African football. It was as if the universe answered our prayers and gave us a platform to showcase our skills on and off the field.
China flaps at it, falls at him. Floor, here's Mbogazi. Equalizer, that is it. Mtu Shabalala. Ronald Williams, the man from PE. He strikes the ball. Gezana attacks it, and in.
Look at him, he'll be flying down that wing.
Improvisation from the 18-year-old Lal Foster.
Tapala Morena with the goal already in this tournament.
In for a brace. Nkota! And Koza. Mbata, who powers it home. Chance here from Bule!
Surround yourself with success at Regent Business School and experience the supportive learning environment to make your dreams a reality.
I wake up and it's there, the voice telling me to skip a day, to stop, to give up. I'll never give up. Slowmag. Fight fatigue and energy loss all day, every day. Beat your slump. Slowmag.
Today, we welcome the world to Morocco. We welcome the people of Africa. We are going to show the world the best football from the continent, the best players in Africa, the best football players in the world. On behalf of Football in Africa, officially declare the TotalEnergies AFCON 2025 open, officially open.
Morocco to take advantage, Salah in. Oh, that is sensational! That is glorious!
So both Benin and Senegal are assured of progress to the next stage.
The edge of the area, chip back post, header and goal. Ayoub El Kaabi strikes.
Mohammed the 5th Stadium at Casablanca.
Ariti buries it. Bilal Touré doesn't. The Eagles from Bamako will be in the quarterfinals.
South Africa winners back in 1996 in Cameroon, 5-time African champions.
Here for Brahim Diaz, donc comment il fait sur les marqueurs, le choix pour Brahim Diaz! And finally, the Lions don't find the back of the net!
Little ball here. Now can Gay get this back into the danger zone? Diarra slips it and Njai scores. And that's it. It's all over. Senegal are into the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations. They'll be playing Egypt or Côte d'Ivoire.
That's another great ball. And so Seaman now looks to set it up. Surely Adams now will walk it into the net. A thing of absolute beauty. Fly, Super Eagles, fly!
And the celebrations can begin because the final whistle sounds. And Morocco march on at home. They have eliminated the indomitable Lions at the quarter-final stage.
Mantengo's getting at Sabad! No shame!
7-time winners. Egypt continuing their efforts to win a first title in 16 years.
Remate! Golo! Sadio Mane!
Final whistle is there, and that is the end of regulation time. That is the end of open play. We will see penalties to see who advances to meet Senegal in the final.
Bruna!
To send Morocco into the final, finds it with conviction. He finds eternity for Morocco. Nigeria will play for third, but it is Morocco who will face Senegal in the final.
A warm good evening. Welcome, Africa, to the Africa Cup of Nations 2025, the final production of a tournament that was absolutely spectacular. This is where the family has met, and the family has given us an unbelievable 51 games. Game number 52 is about to explode on your screens, and for the next 2 hours, we're going to build up. Let's talk about what has taken place when the family met on your World of Champions. It all began with AFCON 35 and 24 of the finest, most incredible football nations on the continent coming together in Morocco to compete in 9 venues, 6 different cities. Never been done before at the Cup of Nations, and it has been spectacular. It has been world class. And when we looked at the beginning of the tournament and we thought, what are some of the milestones that need to be achieved at this tournament? We had 3 countries coming into the tournament that needed to try and win their very first match. 2 of them failed, 1 of them managed, and that was Mozambique. They got their very first victory ever. As far as Tanzania and Botswana are concerned, they have to come back and do it another time. The defending champions, as Solomon Kalu knows, are out of the tournament and have not been able to defend it. It is something that the Cup of Nations has given us excitement about, because it is so difficult to defend a Cup of Nations trophy. And again, Cote d'Ivoire's elephants have not been able to do it, because the final this time around sees Senegal up against Morocco. And as we continue to look at some of these major milestones, well, some of the big players, were they able to achieve what they needed to do? Did, for instance, a Victor Osimhen bring what he was expected to bring? Arguably, yes. For Salah, the great man, again, the title has eluded him. And when we look at what Sadio Mane could achieve today, he goes potentially with a victory into the pantheon of greatness. 2 Africa Cup of Nations titles. Well, with over 120 caps, that is greatness. But you have to win in the final that is about to come your way today. Africa, we have met. Africa, we're about to have the last of those conversations, and it is going to be spectacular. I can't wait, and I know you can't too. So let's get straight into introducing you to the panel of champions. I have never worked on a bigger panel for an Africa Cup of Nations final. This edition of the Cup of Nations is my 14th, and if I introduce this panel, it isn't bigger than this I can't hope for. I'll start closest to me with a man with over 60 caps and a Cup of Nations under his belt, Teko Modise. Teko, my question is, who deserves it? You know, I've been grappling with this. Who deserves this title and why?
I guess it's a very tricky question as to who deserves it.
Because you're out. I mean, you're out. You can't say, no, South Africa. Now you have to go with the brain.
Yeah, but when I have to go with the brain, I think both sides deserve to be in the final. One, you have Morocco that are hosts that they've been magnificent from the start. And you have Senegal that just continues, that dominance within African football. And one, you say, maybe we need a new king in the block. Maybe, we need a Hakim. Maybe we need a Morocco. They are hosting also in 2030. So this is a country that has been, putting so much money in development for the last 10, 15 years. So maybe this is the right time for that to come through for them.
You played in the middle of the park, and if you were using your side mirrors, your peripheral vision, you would have seen next to you that the man with over 100 caps for the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire, an AFCON winner, Solomon Kalu, was looking at you when you said Morocco. And he wasn't looking at you with a look that says, I agree. Solomon, welcome back to the panel. It's so good to have you. How was it being away? I know it was difficult. It was trip to the hospital to check blood pressure.
It was better to be away when we lost, because if I was here, I know you guys will give me a time.
No, we're here now.
So I'm happy to be here to see Senegal win. That's why I didn't agree with him. I think Senegal, with Sadio, what he had done for Senegalese football, he deserved to win that competition.
Does that push him to become a great? I mean, already he's a great.
He is.
But now the conversation becomes smaller when you say 2 AFCONs.
Yeah, 2 AFCON, Champions League, Premier League, he won everything. So I think with this competition more, he can be the best Senegalese player, because actually they have discussion between Juve and him, and Elijah think he's the best, and Sadio is the best. So since Sadio won today, I think Elijah will have to admit that Sadio is the best.
I don't know if the continent noticed you said the best Senegalese player. You didn't say the best that we've ever seen in an African continent.
No, because I mean. We know that he's among African player. We know that. But I'm talking about direct competition with Elijah, which is probably watching me right now. Elijah, if Sadio won today, I don't think there is any debate. It's over.
The debate is over.
Yeah, over.
At the far post, where he spends so much of his time in his playing career, a man who's done it for Nigeria's Super Eagles, was the top goal scorer at the Africa Cup of Nations in 2019. And with over almost 40 caps to his name, it is Odion Ighalo. Odion, same question. Grapple with it. The most deserving nation, because we're going to go through all the factors. We're going to go through the coaches, the tactics, all of that's coming. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about heart. And congratulations on your bronze medal.
Thank you for that.
I needed to. Oh, wow, nice. Okay, I need to sneak it in.
First of all, I want to say both teams deserve to win the trophy today because both teams have worked hard to this stage. I want Senegal to win it, but...
Why?
Why? Because, like I said, from the West African side, I support them and they have done so well, because of money. And Morocco, my other side, why I'm thinking about Morocco is because they have not won it for over 50 years or something, no trophy. And they have, like you said, they have spent so much money in developing football in Africa. They have spent so much money in this tournament. And
they're doing it right, Odion.
They're doing it right.
If you wanted to give a reward, Morocco deserves the reward for doing it right. Development, academies, infrastructure, junior players, how they're working with those youth players, under-20 FIFA World Cup champions, under-23 Olympic bronze medalists, Chan, 3 tournaments they've won in the last 4 or 5 of those tournaments. At every level on the continent, they have done the business. And for 50 years, Africa has said, we're not giving you the big trophy.
That's why I feel for them. That's why I want them to win it. That's why my mind is saying, if they win it today, yes, good luck to them.
But your heart is not with them. Your heart is not there, Odion. I've just made a fantastic case for Morocco, and I haven't convinced you.
I'm a little bit convinced now.
But not too much.
No, because, I mean, they're the first African country that take Africa to the semi of the World Cup. So if you do that outside Africa, you deserve also to do it in the continent and show that I'm doing outside, but I'm also doing inside. And I think they deserve it because, they, like he said, they invest so much and they show on every level that they can win. So now, today is their chance to...
It is their chance, but they're up against a very, very tough opponent in the Lions of Teranga of Senegal, and we'll talk a little bit about them very shortly, but I have to introduce you to our technical area. And in that technical area, they will be giving you the analysis, they'll be giving you how the teams are going to be playing, they will be talking about the tactics, they'll be talking about the trends. We couldn't have given it to 2 better individuals than who's sitting at the far post. And I'll start out with Coach Shorty Lulu. And Coach Timpiwa Lulu has done it with Banyana. She's done it with her coaching badges at the World Cup as well, with FIFA at the junior levels as well. And Coach Shorty, let's keep this conversation going because yours is the female heart. Maybe the heart that will give us, you know, that emotional feeling of who deserves to be champions of Africa in 2025.
If you say deserve, you're disqualifying the hard work of the 2 teams. And I think I concur with the gentleman to say both teams deserve to be in the final. They've worked hard for it. They've shown it. Number 1, number 2 in Africa. They're following each other that well. And emotionally, I think everyone would want, most of people would want Senegal to win it because they relate more with the Senegalese team, with their history, with their stories and all of that. And the biasness of it is that Sadio Mane is loved by people in Africa and all of that. And not that the Moroccan side, they're not loved by people. The Moroccan side, it's more modern, young feel to it. and they have to prove themselves to Africa because you've done it in the world and shown the world that you can come and play in the semi-finals of a World Cup. But in Africa, you have not stamped your authority. They've only won it 50 years ago. That's how long ago Morocco has won it. And it's not like they've just started doing things right now. They've been trying and doing well, but they haven't really showed up in Africa. You know, so yeah, for me, it's the team that will bring more grit, heart, and take their chances. That's the team that will really deserve it today.
And you know, you said something so important there, and maybe from a football purist perspective, guys, and Deko, you can jump in here. Senegal have played their more attacking football. You know, when you look at Diallo, Sadio Mane, you look at Ndiaye, you look at how much Jackson has contributed, they've been more attacking. And sometimes, is that not what football is about? That
it is, Tom, but also, you can also say the same thing about Morocco as well.
No, I can't.
I can.
They've been significantly more defensive. Ask Odion and Nigeria. Hey, they close.
No. I disagree on that. I'll say, you look at Senegalese, especially the way they play. Yes, this is a team that has been in this position before. They do have possibly 3 or 4 players that survived the last final that they won. So it's a team that knows how to play big games like this. But you look at the Moroccan side, because it's a country that has been in transition, you find them in this position. But look at all the youngsters that are playing. There's an opportunity for them, for the new generation, to write their own history. It's 49 years without them winning a trophy. You look at how they started. The only team that really was so much under pressure to do well. They faced the turbulences within the tournament when they went, you know, they drew, I think, against Mali. There was a problem. When they won 1-0 against Tanzania, there was a lot of criticism within the team, but there's a team that went through all the emotions to find themselves in the final. Yes, you do have the Senegalese that we know that, you know, very strong, and like Shoti has said, there's a #1 and #2 teams in the continent, so you cannot say Morocco is not attacking.
Is that the bus that's taking them to destiny? The last time they played in a final, the Moroccans, was back in 2004. Walid Regraoui was part of that team, their coach. He knows this journey. He knows the disappointment of leaving the stadium without the trophy, and he'll be looking to give his country, those 38 million Moroccans, the opportunity to celebrate one more time for the first time in 50 years. At the far post in the technical area, though, the last of the panel of 5 exceptional analysts for this final is Pomodzo Manenze. He did the business with Orlando Pirates up front. He played in Champions League semi-finals, and today he's one of the great minds on the continent when it comes to giving you the technical side of the game. And Pomodzo, let us get into that one, because I know I'll ask you for an emotional answer, and I know you're going to give me the numbers and the stats. So let's get into that. When you compare these two sides, who, for you, and if you're going to use numbers to make that the case, is most deserving?
When you look at the two teams, there's no one more deserving to be in the final than the two teams, #1 ranked and the 2nd ranked. But when you look at the 2 best defense on the tournament, you have to speak about the 2 teams. You look at Morocco, only 1 goal conceded, and if you put it into context and say that 1 goal that they've conceded was a penalty, then you are saying they've got a clean sheet going into this final. But when you go on the other side and look at Senegal and look at the 2 goals that they've conceded, you might say the 2 goals that they've conceded was a moment of brilliance from the opposition. But when you look at these 2 teams, I think the 2 teams that deserve to be here, we have to look at star players and look at who deserves it more. You look at Mane. I thought his leadership qualities has been excellent of this Senegalese team. I know Koulibaly has been in and out of the team because of suspensions and injuries and all of that. But when you look at the fact that they've got a Senegalese coaching them. On the other side, you look at Morocco, they've got Regraoui, who's also a Moroccan and has played the game for the national team. That is the man, Coach Pape Diaw. He's going to be very important in terms of keeping the emotional intelligence, making sure that the players are calm. He has got a 17-year-old in his team. He unleashes him in the second half. He's usually the plan B for them. So I'm looking at this Senegalese team and looking at them to say, might they have the edge over their counterparts in Morocco?
As we look at the Lions of Teranga get off the bus, and I know a lot of you thought that Teranga is actually a place, maybe. You know, they must be the lions of a place. Teranga is not a place. In Senegalese culture, Teranga is respect for guests, it's community first, it's pride in treating others with dignity. It's a word in the Wolof language of Senegal. It's similar to Ubuntu. So these are the lions of that culture, of Ubuntu, of Teranga, of respect, of humility, of unity, of I just love that. And you know, I'll be the first to admit that I was one of those that thought Lions of Teranga must be a place. It must be a place in Senegal, and now I understand it. And you can see how they play and how they interact with the teams, their fans.
Yeah.
Teranga is in them.
Yeah, Senegal, they are nice people. You know, if you have the chance to visit Senegal, they are very welcoming and humble. I have the chance to play with Idriss Gueye, and very humble player, humble guys. And it's a culture that they have. It's showing their way of playing, their way of doing everything that they're doing now.
So there they are. And on the other side, you've got Lions as well, the host nation. And they are the Atlas Lions. And that name comes from the Atlas Mountains, the mountain range between Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia. And it separates the Sahara from the Mediterranean. Again, Atlas Lions, unbreakable, immovable. I mean, the mountain range says that. And I also thought to myself, were there ever actually really Atlas lions in the world? And the answer is yes, there were. They are now extinct, but they were a bigger breed of lion, one of the biggest that existed on Earth, and were hunted to death some time ago. So Atlas lions are true, exist, and now we see them in this final. What I need from you at home, though, is to be part of the conversation. What I need from you is to be part of this final. And I need you to answer the question, which team will be crowned as the Africa Cup of Nations champions in 2025? Take your phone out right now. I'll keep talking a little bit so you can do that, and put it next to the screen on the camera. Grab the QR code and start voting. We're going to show you later on what the poll is saying. Are you in agreement with what's been said here in studio, where the jury's a little bit split? You know, there's that feeling that it's money time, it's Teranga Lion time. And on the other side, there's a feeling that maybe Morocco, with a 50-year drought of having won the tournament and with all their investment, they are the deserving ones. I don't know. I'm still sitting and waiting to be convinced. And maybe by the end, while I look at your poll and look at your votes coming through, I'll also have a closer idea as to who I'd like to see lift the trophy at the end of the 90 minutes, potentially 120 minutes, and possibly even a penalty shootout. That is what is ahead of us. We also have the closing ceremony, and if it's anything like what the opening ceremony was like, it is going to be spectacular. So there you go. The question has been asked, which team will be crowned? You guys have given a little bit of a perspective on that. How much are you looking forward to this final, gentlemen? How exciting a final could it be? Or will it be one of those finals where it's just too tight and ultimately Stanley Nwabali is the man of the match?
Stanley Nwabali.
That's a stray bullet, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, both teams have done well so far in the tournament, and they started well, and they keep the same pace to the end. If you see the way Morocco are playing, with the young lads, with the experienced player, they run for 90 minutes. Sometimes I wonder if they're taking something, you understand? They run, they fight, and all that. Senegal on the other side, even though they lost their captain, which very important figure in the team, they still do well and they get to the final. So it's going to be a tough game today because both of them deserve to be in the final, and both teams deserve to win the tournament. So it's going to be tough.
And Odion, it's not a stray bullet that I was saying. I was mentioning Stanley Nwabali, man of the match in the third and fourth playoff encounter, because he plays in the PSL in South Africa. Sharpened by the league in South Africa, prepared for the tournament by a South African club, and then goes into a third and fourth playoff match, Odion, and lifts the man of the match, bringing bronze to Nigeria. Maybe you might say something about PSL football on the back of that.
Yeah, for me, it's one of the best leagues in Africa.
Thank you.
And even seeing a lot of foreigners playing in the league and all that, you can, if you want to make sure one or two leagues that is doing well, paying well in Africa, the league, the PSL is one of them. So I can say, yes, thanks for what you guys did for our goalkeeper. If that's what you want to hear from me,
yeah,
thank you.
I'm involving ourselves. We're putting ourselves in anywhere we can. But Solomon, you've been listening intently.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
I think seeing both teams playing through that tournament, it's not a final where you're going to be close defending. I think both teams love to go forward, playing football forward. Senegal have a player who can score anytime. And Morocco been scoring a lot of goals. So I'm expecting at least 2 goals in this final.
There's quite a big difference, though, guys, between the sides in terms of the attack-mindedness, right? 32 shots on target for Morocco, 47 on target for Senegal. That tells me they're a lot more adventurous than the Moroccans.
Yeah, maybe in that regard, in terms of them taking shots outside the box, yes. But when you look at the way both teams do attack, there's a lot of similarities for me, if I have to look at them. Maybe also when we get into the tactics, we'll see as to the similarities that they have. There's 2 teams that really taken the new trends of football, implementing them very well. High press, high tempo game, and the counter pressing and rotating the ball a bit quicker. And also what helps as well is you look at the amount of youngsters, comes back to what Igalo was speaking about, and the amount of youngsters that are able to carry this Moroccan team to be able to press a little bit higher. Also, you look at another side as well, from a Senegalese team, you still have Sadio Mane that literally, when you look at him, is like a 22-year-old. He still works a little bit harder. And if your leader, one of your best players ever to work that hard, it really pushes the whole team.
But he's talking about, this is my last AFCON. He'd like to lift it in his last... It's not an official announcement, but we're listening, right? And when you say, this is my last AFCON, I'd like to win it...
It doesn't happen like that, though, to be honest. Yes, we want him to win it because of his legacy and what he has brought in African football. But Morocco also want to win, and they haven't won for 50 years, so this is their chance.
And we looked at the crowd. We saw those magnificent images of those fans, the passion that's there. You guys have all played in front of full stadiums. You've played at the Africa Cup of Nations. What is that like? Is it an advantage to the men getting off the bus here, the home side, the Atlas Lions of Morocco, the champions in 1976? And at that time, Coach George Madrescu of Romania was the man who brought the title to them. This time, they're looking to the homeboy, Walid Regragui, to do that business as he walks and looks very confident, the 50-year-old appointed in 2022. Now coming back to what I was asking, as we look at them getting off the bus, the home team, the home advantage, the home fans, is it that? Or is it just pressure?
Yeah, it's always had a bit of pressure for the away team, the opponent, because you see the Cameroonian game, the Nigerian game, you see they are whistling from the first minute to the 90 minutes and all that. And if you don't have confidence, if you have not played in big stage like that, you feel pressure.
Do you hear that? As a player on the field, you hear that whistling. Aren't you supposed to be focused?
Of course. I can give one example. The midfielder of Nigeria, Oyedika, he can't even control the ball in the pack of the play. When the ball comes, and he just put the ball away. You understand? So, I will tell you that, it's Nigerian, and I love him and all that. You can see the pressure in it, you understand? If you have not played in a stage like that, in this kind of crowd, you will feel pressured, and it's an advantage to the home side, because they will put more pressure. Their fans is always behind them and all that, So it's had a little bit advantage.
Well, Solomon's looking at you and saying, yeah, but...
No, but, I mean, we show Morocco how to do it. We all we play at home in the final. And I understand Nigeria was there, and they feel the pressure of our fans. It's difficult when you play against the home team in the finals. So... hopefully, Morocco will use that in their advantage.
All you need is an early goal, though, and you can take the, what did you call it? Can eliminate the instantly with an early goal if you're the Teranga Lions of Senegal. However, these men, they come into it with a job to do. Will they do that job at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium in Rabat? That is what this build-up will try and give you an answer to. and also the football that follows it will definitely give you an answer to right here on your World of Champions. We'll be back right after this with more on the build-up, more conversations, more technical analysis, more perspectives from the panel of champions as the family meets.
"2014, I remember it like it was yesterday. The game meant so much to us. Rona, hungry for success, and our passion knew no bounds. When the DStv Disky Challenge emerged, what a pivotal moment in South African football. It was as if the universe answered our prayers and gave us a platform to showcase our skills on and off the field.
China flaps at it, falls at him. Florian Mbogazin. Equalizer, that is it. Shabalala. Ronald Williams, the man from PE. He strikes the ball. Gezana attacks it, and
look at him, he'll be flying down that wing.
improvisation from the 18-year-old Lal Foster.
Tapala Morena with the goal already in this tournament.
In for a brace. Nkota! And Koza. Mbata, who powers it home. Chance here from Bule!
You've been upsized.
You've been upsized.
Watch the Bet by SA20 on SuperSport Cricket Channel 212.
Welcome back to our discussion. Welcome back to the build-up to the final for the 35th edition of the Africa Cup of Nations on your World of Champions. I'm your jersey number 10, Thomas Mlambo. Now, the conversation would not be complete if we did not have a little bit of a reminiscence, throwback. You know, 120 goals have been scored. Ira is the ball that has been used at this tournament. That's the name of the ball. And it's hit the net 120 times in 51 games, which means some football has been played. Some great football has been played. Some top players have been doing it. And Deco, who will you not forget from this tournament?
I guess it has to be, for me, it has to be Diaz. Based on the fact that, you know, when you're playing for such a big team that is Real Madrid, you don't get more game time as much as you wanted to. And then you change allegiance from playing for Spain. You're saying, no, I don't want to play for Spain. I want to go play for Morocco. Then you give yourself such an opportunity to come into the country. You've been given jersey number 10. You play in such a prestigious tournament at home. There's a lot of fans that you still need to win over. Yet again, you're this player that is so different. You're actually not showing not maybe just your countrymates, but also showing the Real Madrid fans as to them, this is the player that I am, this is what I want to do also for Real Madrid. And to come in to score 5 goals out of 6 games and playing at home, and the way that he's scoring goals, the way that he's carrying this team, I think for me, it just stands out because I know the emotional toll that comes with not having enough game time in a club level to come to the national team.
And that's a nice story for him. I mean, he's not playing at Real Madrid. He started 3 games in the opening 16 matches of the season for them. Come as a sub 9 times, and even then it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes. He's really not a starter or even a major player at Real Madrid right now. But the Cup of Nations, has it got the ability to throw him back into the limelight? When he arrives back in Madrid, they say, listen, you are watching, he needs to play.
Yeah, you can say that because it's a good player, it's a quality player, you understand? And you know, he's playing for Real Madrid. You see the people that is playing, the players that is up front there, it's going to be very difficult for him to play every game or play 90 minutes or start ahead of those players. But we can see his quality when he comes in, what he does and all that. And he has shown that now in this AFCON that he can be a starter.
Who stood out for you, though? Other than Deco's choice here, Diaz, for you?
For me, I would say Lukman has done so well in this tournament because if you see his goal contribution and all that. But when you talk about goals, I would say Osimhen.
Yeah.
Victor.
And he's grown, right?
Yeah.
He's grown. He's grown as a footballer.
Yeah.
You know, you grew to love him at this tournament because of his heart.
He works hard, not only scoring goals. You see the way he presses, the way he runs and all that, and playing this new position behind two strikers. I've not seen him play there before. Mostly play from the wings and all that, but this position he played behind strikers and he press and he run and all that. He has done so well.
And you hear his name now mentioned in the same sentence as Rashidi Yekini.
Yeah, because it's a big one.
Too early.
Too early because
he scored the goals though.
Yeah, Rashidi Yekini is a striker you put up there because he scored goals for fun. But we know that time will come in that someone is going to take that position from him, which we have seen, and it's close. So when you call Rashidi Yekini in Nigeria, people don't want to even argue. They don't want to say anything about it because it's a class for his own.
And then Solomon, you're nodding, you're agreeing. Was Rashidi in your time? Did you see him play?
I see him a little bit playing, but I think I agree with you because he's a legend and his name is always going to be on the top. But Osimhen have been doing a lot of good things.
Is that the player that you would pick? Other than the ones playing in the final, because we'll have time for them, who else stood out for you?
Amad Diallo. I know you're going to come at me. Ivorian, but I'm standing up.
You guys are picking your home team.
I'm standing. But no. First AFCON, first time in the AFCON, 3-time man of the match, 3 games. I think, yes, if his team go further, if Ivory Coast qualified to go to the final, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't. But what he's shown for the game that he played, I think he deserves to be also among the top player in that competition.
Some people might say we didn't see enough. There was a short time in the tournament. We didn't see enough.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, but equality is equality. You don't need to see much of him. If you see the 3 games that I play, it's a quality. He show a lot of quality, and he back in Manchester and they're back winning again. So that's the impact that he have.
The African players went straight back into the Manchester derby, live on the World of Champions yesterday, and made the difference.
It made the difference. You see, and winning against City, it don't happen all the time, I know, but he came back and you guys won. So I think he's getting better. He's getting games, and I think we can count on him for the World Cup. And
some great players mentioned there by some great men here in the studio. Let me go to the technical area where Coach Shorty as well as Pomoto are standing by. And guys, I just mentioned the Premier League in England and how they're back running and they're welcoming back their AFCON players and very excited that they're back. But that's not the only league that's warming itself up, stretching, and getting ready to explode back onto the screens on the World of Champions. Pomoto, I know you're excited.
You're talking about the Betway Premiership is coming back, and no later than tomorrow. Tomorrow, the defending champions, Mamelodi Sundowns, will kick us off. We know that Orlando Pirates went into the break sitting on top. Mamelodi Sundowns are second. So it's exciting. And what is more exciting about this is also the transfer window, Coach. There is a transfer window that has been busy. We've seen Mamelodi Sundowns busy. We've seen Orlando Pirates busy in that window. Mamelodi Sundowns kicks us off at home tomorrow against Orbit. With the aggression that they've shown in the transfer window, they want to get back to the top.
Absolutely. And you look at Salah, whom they've acquired from Orlando Pirates, and Amane goes to that team as well, and the international that has been there. And also Skukune has a brilliant player coming in from overseas, Lebogang Phiri. Kaizer Chiefs, you know, Chipa United will be welcoming back their goalkeeper with a bronze medal. I think he's done well. at the AFCON. Marumo Gallants, however, I'm looking at them and they've lost out on some quality players. Chabatsane and Msendami have gone.
You're looking at Chippa United sitting at the top, Mwabali coming back, and when he comes back, he finds his team at the bottom. His experience that he has amassed at the AFCON will be very important. They've got Kwaiba that is back also being signed. So I'm looking at this Chippa United to say they can do better. Mwabali's experience, Kwaiba coming back, a new coach in Kano that has settled now is going to be an exciting one in the second round of the Betway Premiership.
And not only that, guys, thank you for promoting and the games coming up. But not only that, those players playing in the Betway Premiership, so many of them, Odeon, fighting for a place at the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah, it's good because there have to always be competition in the team. So, and going to the World Cup again, I think it's motivation for them to work really hard, because now, for what South Africa did and what the fans are saying and everybody's saying, some players were supposed to be there and they are not there. So now the coaches, we have to open their eyes now to pick the solid and the better team for them to go to the World Cup, because World Cup is a big stage. So
what does it mean for the league, Teko, that the players, those who are playing at the Cup of Nations, they're now back? How quickly do you get back into the swing of things? I saw for Manchester United, no time at all. For the South African players back in the Betway Premiership?
I think that's the trend that's going to happen within the South African footballers. So you need to go back and try and fight also for your place again, and also to
show why I was there.
Yeah, and also to book yourself in that flight that is going to America for the World Cup, because it's 3.5 months we'll be, announcing the team that is.
Because only 9 nations are going.
Exactly. So it's an important phase of South African footballers. Very, very important in their career. We know how difficult it is to actually qualify for the World Cup. So there's an opportunity, especially for those who are not part of the squad that actually traveled for AFCON, but also for those who have been there, that knows themselves that didn't do well. It's an opportunity to rectify within the 3 months.
Yeah, not everyone sitting on the panel has that to worry about and consider.
What are you talking?
You have to speak to me directly. You want to speak to me directly, so I know you
go through the corners.
You're cutting corners.
I'm just having fun.
We just finished our own World Cup, so we wish you guys all the best there. We'll be watching you guys.
Guys, we now have something to look forward to, a closing ceremony. And we saw the opening ceremony. It set the tone. It gave us what has turned out to be one of the most spectacular tournaments, from an infrastructure, from a stadiums. And we're looking forward now to similar as we say goodbye.
Yeah, of course. I mean, African football is evolving in all part of the organization. You have to show that we want the best for our continent. And I think Morocco pick up on what Ivory Coast did 2 years ago. We welcome everybody to come to Ivory Coast. They enjoy, they love how we do things over there, and they brought that to Morocco. So I'm looking forward for the next country that are going to host the AFCON, because the really stake is high.
And, I mean, if you are going to look at Cote d'Ivoire as an example, host nation, going on and doing the business, that's Morocco this time around.
Yes, and I remember when we almost got knocked out and Morocco won their game. They did that a favor by winning that game. So we went on and win the AFCON. So I'm sure all the Ivorian hoping that the Morocco team take the cup today.
Nothing can ever be as great as the comeback that Cote d'Ivoire gave us in that tournament. But potentially we could see a great final. Potentially we could see the crowning of a player as one of the all-time greats on the African continent. That man could be Sadio Mane, if he can be a massive influence in this encounter. There is Prince Abdallah, and he has been a massive influence in the tournament. He set us off amazingly with the opening ceremony. Will we see him now for the final and the closing ceremony? Let's get to it.
With drums in our chests and banners in our hands. We came to win, but we stayed to feel. And feel we did. Every second, every breath. Victories lifted us, defeats shaped us. From the joy of last-minute goals to the tears that united strangers. In Rabat, Agadir, Tangier, we were never just spectators. We were a family. Morocco, you were not just the host, you were the heartbeat. In the silence of your dunes, in the roar of your stadiums, you gave Africa a home to believe in. You showed us pride without pretense. You showed us color, hospitality, and the courage to shine from Casablanca's pulse to Fez's ancient grace, from Marrakesh's soul. You carried this cup with dignity and brilliance. We speak different. We play different. We love this game different. But here, under Moroccan skies, we stood side by side. One continent rising. So this is our grateful farewell. To Morocco, thank you for the lights, for the safety, for the story we wrote together. Now let the colors return. Let the music rise. Let Africa dance one last time. Not goodbye, just brighter. I was born on a mountain top, right below the rainfall. See the sun, feel the wind, so much to be proud of. I can hear all things, sing our song. Music carries love. If my blood spills, I feel pain, but not for shame. 'Cause we are Africa, so proud of Africa. So Mama Africa, you've got to go far. Be careful, go far. 'Cause we are proud of Africa. The time is now for a glorious finale. From the heart of this cup, we give you this. Not gold, not glory, but respect. Courage in defeat, grace in victory. This game crowns one winner, but it reveals many brothers. Take this ball and hold it with honor. It carries more than colors, it carries the weight of hearts, the fire of nations. May the spirit of Africa walk beside you, and may the light of Morocco lead you forward. And when the drums go quiet, when the night returns to silence, remember this: our differences never separated us. They taught us how to stand together. This is not a winner's ball. This is a promise, a light to be passed on from today to tomorrow, from Morocco to all of Africa. May the game never end in you, child. Carry it forward. Carry us forward. Play as one, we rise as one.
It's come down to final day. That's right. The top two teams in Africa are meeting in the very last match of Morocco 2025, the TotalEnergies CAF Africa Cup of Nations. I'm delighted to say the man alongside me, Sundo Elise, is going to be watching this with a great deal of excitement. He's a former winner, Sundo Elise. What does it take to win a competition like this?
Oh, it takes everything. This is where it all boils down to this. So it takes strength, guts, or you have to be audacious, and you have to have personality. There is just 90 minutes that separates you, or a little bit more, separates you from a title. So you have to give everything.
Great personalities, great characters in this game. But we have got Africa's top 2 teams in this tournament. Maybe a surprise for some that Morocco and Senegal have made it through to the final, but from your perspective, 2 teams thoroughly deserving of their place?
No, I'm not surprised at all, because I think the only team that could have crashed the party was Nigeria. Because if you look at the Moroccans, from a tactical point of view, they were the best, all true. But the Senegalese have always been able to grind in and win titles, even win ugly, as they say. So I think for that reason, both teams were the best, just as the best 4 teams got to the semi-finals.
Yeah, fair. But if a prolific Nigeria couldn't score against Morocco, where do you see goals coming from a Senegal side that, to be fair to them, have scored in every game this tournament?
Yeah, the goals can always come from Mr. Wonder himself, the talisman, Mr. Sadio Mane, because this man is unbelievable. I think he's had 3 assists and 2 goals for a man that's 33. Come on. So that's where the danger can come from. But then, don't forget that these Moroccans are probably one of the best goalkeepers in the world. They've conceded only 1 goal, and only from penalty. Correct me if I'm wrong, please.
No, exactly. We've got the best defence against one of the best attacking sides. 12-goal Senegal against a Moroccan side that have not conceded from open play in this tournament. Can Senegal change that and claim a 2nd title in 3 finals across 4 editions? Find out here.
Ceremony there. And now you know, Idris Elba can sing. His mother's from Ghana, his father from Sierra Leone, Idris Elba, and in 2019 he got married in Marrakesh, Morocco. There is Rabat for you. 2.1 million people call it home. We call it the venue for the Africa Cup of Nations final. Coming up next.
Let's move. Aquile Vive, power and sports drinks. You want football that's absolutely unpredictable. Football with no respect for ranking, league, or history.
For the first time in their history, there's a new name on the FA Cup.
Then you want the FA Cup. It's knockout football. Starting this January. It's on SuperSport. Proudly brought to you by Sporting Bet. Betting amplified.
Living wealthier comes with making the right financial decisions. With Standard Bank Private, you get access to a world-class team of bankers and advisors to help you grow your investments for generations to come. Live a wealthier life with a world-class team of financial advisors.
The Guinness Book of Records tells you the stadium in the background that will host Morocco and Senegal is the fastest stadium built. 69,000 seats in that stadium. They did it in just 2 years, knocking down the old one and getting the new one up in time for the Cup of Nations. And now, Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium will have the opportunity to see the #1 ranked nation on the continent, Morocco, up against the #2 ranked FIFA nation, and that is Senegal. They are in the top 20 of the world, and when we look at the nations on this list, Deco, so many of them also headed to the FIFA World Cup in 2026.
Yeah, so many, man. And also maybe give kudos as well to FIFA to extending the number of countries that are going there. So a lot of African teams that are going there. We're 9 now, so we're just waiting to see if DRC Congo can be one of the 10th nations that are going to the World Cup.
When you got Morocco, Senegal, Algeria, Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire, Tunisia, then Ghana, Cape Verde, and we also still have the DRC potentially being one of those nations to make it through to the FIFA World Cup. But it does give you a sense that the final we're about to see is the best of the best. You could not want it better than 1 and 2.
Yes, that's to show that African football has improved very well, because if you see the position in Morocco in the FIFA ranking, to not just only in Africa, you see they're up there, Senegal too are up there. So people that don't take this African Cup of Nations serious before now, they will start looking at it more that this is a big tournament. And for the fact that FIFA could include 10 teams in Africa to go to the World Cup, I want to say kudos to them, because it will give us more edge in the World Cup to able to get to maybe final this time, because the last time Morocco went to semi-final and no African team have won the World Cup. So with a lot of teams like this coming to the World Cup from Africa, then it will give us more edge to even go far in the tournament.
Now, Pape Thiaw's team, the Lions of Teranga, they are second on those FIFA rankings. They are also a nation that have, under his leadership, remember he took over from Aliou Cisse, under his leadership have lost just 1 game in his 16 matches in charge, and that game was against Brazil. They are formidable, and they are in the final. And this is the story of the Teranga Lions.
Mane! Senegal are African champions!
Modern, assertive, tactically flexible, with an emphasis on the high press, quick transitions and individual brilliance. Senegal are an African football powerhouse. It's almost unimaginable that the Lions of Teranga have only been crowned African champions once, with their success in Cameroon ending years of near misses and close shaves. This is a nation who has provided the world with stars aplenty, and whose unmistakable identity sees them leaving a lasting impression wherever they go. Their success in Cameroon saw them dispel their tag of African football's great underachievers, but their tame title defense in the Cote d'Ivoire saw them face more questions than answers, but also head to Morocco with a point to prove. Defiant and highly motivated, Senegal now have an opportunity to etch their names amongst the pantheons of AFCON legends.
We are determined like never before, but above all, it remains football. It will be played on the pitch. We will be determined. We know they are at home. We know the public will be there for them. That is okay. There's no problem with that. We as players, we play in atmospheres like that. We will be ready, determined, but it is certain that we want to bring the cup back to Dakar, celebrate that with our people, our families. There are also players who are absent, who could not be here due to injury or other reasons. We want to bring that back to our families, to our teammates. So we are going to give it our all. It is Senegal who will win it.
Drawn in a group featuring perennial dark horses Benin and the Democratic Republic of Congo, together with Kasafa Manos Botswana, Pape Thiaw's team were a class apart.
Now Jacobs pulls it back. They've got the goal. Finally, the deadlock is broken. Nicholas Jackson with a superb finish.
Senegal were made to work hard in their draw with the Leopards, but the thumping 3-0 win over Benin in their group stage finale secured them top spot and a round of 16 date against Sudan. The Falcons of Gedian gave the Lions of Teranga a massive scare early on.
Onside. Abdallah gets the shot in. Oh, what a goal! What a goal here for Ahmed Abdallah.
However, the West Africans' class soon shone through as they emerged victorious in a 3-1 victory. The hallmark of Thiaw's side is the perfect blend of youth and experience, and in their quarter-final against Mali, a strike from one of their brightest stars secured them the win.
Little ball here. Now can Gay get this back into the danger zone? Diarra slips it and Njai scores.
That set the stage for an epic semi-final battle which pitted 2 African icons against each other. Senegal's Sadio Mane was up against his former Liverpool teammate Mohamed Salah in Egypt, and a tense battle ensued. Senegal had beaten Egypt in the 2021 final, and again it was Mane rejoicing.
Mane, goal! Sadio Mane.
Immense firepower, some experienced hits, plenty of young talent coming through. Senegal have all the ingredients needed to be crowned champions. However, in front of a partisan home crowd, will the Lions of Tiranga roar loudest?
Papetiao holds the hopes of 19 million in his home country of Senegal. He's a man who's worn the jersey for his country. The 44-year-old reached the final, losing in that final to Cameroon in 2002. What does he do now to try and undo that little demon that's inside him in terms of a personal note, and now become a champion potentially with his starting lineup? Let's take a look at that starting lineup, a starting lineup that is rocked with 2 suspensions for this final, with the man up front, Habib Diarra, as well as the captain, Kalidou Koulibaly, both missing from this. Solomon, what do you think of the starting lineup?
Oh, they're still solid. I think what they show after Koulibaly went out, the captain, against the last game, they defend very well with 3 on the back. I think Diatta is the one who always going to go forward and bring the attacker the ball. But you have Sadio and Jackson, who and a good day can find you some top goals.
Solomon,
yes,
you've got Mamadou Sarr, the 20-year-old, having to replace a man in Kalidou Koulibaly who's got 102 caps. Yeah. The 20-year-old comes in the final. He played 67 minutes against Egypt. He had to come in as a sub there.
Yes.
But now, in a final.
But I think it will build up on the game that it came in against Egypt. It's not an easy game playing against Mo Salah and Mamouche, and those two, it gives them a hard time.
Up front, Nicholas Jackson comes into the lineup, and that's because we now don't have Habib Diarra, who's suspended. Odion, that's your department up front. Jackson, what does he bring?
It's a good player, but I think he missed a lot of chances, and I think he has, even the last game, he has opportunity to redeem himself, you understand. This is a final and all that, and if he could score a goal today, I think he will put his name there in one of the top scorer in this tournament.
FIFA Club World Cup winner, Nicholas Jackson.
He's a good player. He's a good player, but like I said, if he has to have like 6 chances to score one. So you can't rely too much on him on goals. Even in this team, you can rely more on Mane than Jackson in terms of goals, you know. So I think if he get a chance today and try to score today, we'll put his name up there.
There's the road. You just saw it. Out of Group D, it was Senegal beating Botswana, drawing with the DRC, Benin, Sudan, Mali, and Egypt, all falling by the wayside. Mane getting a couple of the goals along the road there, as well as a couple of assists as well. He's been so key, has Sadio Mane.
Yeah, he has been. I mean, with 2 goals and 3 assists. Just an important player. He triggers the press up front. He brings more calmness into the team, his experience, and also he's one of those players as well that, you know, with everything that he's won, look at his demeanor on the pitch. He's not a leader that shouts, and for the fact that he's so good on the ball, he's so strong, and it's a player that also they can rely to. And as like Igalo has spoken about, you know, Jackson being the player that, you know, it's not high in confidence going there, but they can interchange you, and Mane can also get into the striking position and cause damage for Morocco.
Now, very quickly, guys, as we look at the starting lineup that we've just seen there as far as the Senegalese are concerned, is it a winning starting lineup, a positive starting lineup? Papetiao is a former striker. Has he put on a starting lineup that is typical of his attack-mindedness?
Yes. I think with the Lamine coming in, is a midfielder, but he like to go forward. So it's an addition to Jackson and Mane and Ndiaye. Those three in front, they can create chances. Yes, Jackson missed a lot of chances, but for me, a striker who creates chances, you create more open up for other strikers to score. So this can be an addition for the team, but I think they went full up to try to win the game before even the penalty kick.
So there you have it. Now let's find out a little bit more about Walid Regragui and his starting lineup and his side and this Atlas Lions team and how they have made their way through to the final. The Atlas Lions are the #1 nation on the African continent. They want to win the Cup of Nations for the first time in 50 years. This is their story.
Morocco is a symbol of African football excellence. The Atlas Lions have provided world football with a galaxy of stars, and in recent years their progress has expanded immeasurably. While clubs like Wydad Casablanca and RS Berkane have shone in CAF club competitions, on the grandest stage, the Atlas Lions' roars have been growing louder. First, they became the first African nation to reach the semi-finals of the FIFA World Cup, and then the under-20s became world champions, further highlighting Moroccan football's global reach. Despite their growth, success on the African continent eluded them. Their only AFCON triumph came all the way back in 1976, and the last time they reached the final was in 2004. 50 years is far too long a wait for a country with their ambitions and wealth of talent. So now, as hosts, the Atlas Lions felt they had a date with destiny.
We dreamed of being here, so there it is done. I'm very happy to be able to play an Africa Cup of Nations final on home soil. I think it is the dream of any player and coach. So now we have the final match, the final step, which will surely be the most difficult against one of the best teams in Africa and also the world. They have a great coach, great players, a big squad, 3 finals out of 4. That speaks for itself. But I think it is good for African football that the 2 best teams are meeting in the final. Now we are going to play at home. We have had purpose for 2 years since the elimination in Côte d'Ivoire. We hope to rise to the occasion and to make history and make our supporters happy. There you go.
Morocco's path to the final has been illuminated by remarkable consistency and moments of magic. 2 wins and a draw saw them finish top of Group A, with the irrepressible Ayoub El-Kabi illuminating their start to the tournament.
Good to take advantage, Salah in. Oh, that is sensational! That is glorious!
Their reward for topping their group was a round of 16 tie against Tanzania. It seemed a mismatch on paper, but the Taifa stars raised their game, and the clash was decided by a solitary goal by Brahim Diaz. The Real Madrid forward was a picture of consistency, and he etched his name into AFCON folklore in the quarter-final against Cameroon.
The set piece has finally delivered, and a man who's done so continually throughout this tournament does so again. Brahim Diaz has 5 in 5.
That strike against the indomitable Lions saw Diaz become the only player in Africa Cup of Nations history to score 5 goals in consecutive matches. So to the semi-finals, and in Nigeria they faced an almighty challenge. The Super Eagles were in fine fettle, but both teams' attacks were blunted, and after 120 minutes a penalty shootout was needed to decide the outcome. A veteran of their class of 2022 came to the fore, as Yassine Bonu underlined his status as Africa's best goalkeeper. Youssoufa Nasseri stroked home the winner, and the nation was sent into raptures.
To send Morocco into the final, finds it with conviction. He finds eternity for Morocco.
There's the man in charge, Walid Regragui, and now he is huge responsibility on his shoulders. 44 caps in his playing time. He has been to 2 Africa Cup of Nations, and now he has the opportunity to bring the trophy back home. But he needs to make the right selections. He needs to give his team the right motivation. And has he done that? As we get our first glimpse of the starting lineup of his Atlas Lions, this is what he's done. Teko, is it a winning lineup? Has he done anything different to what was done against Nigeria?
No, he hasn't done anything different. It's still the same lineup that, I think we started seeing the similarity of the lineup when they started playing, I think it was Zambia, when Rabat now was the player that was sacrificed in the midfield. And also after losing, their creative midfielder, Enawi. Yeah, and then they found a good replacement. I mean, Zalzoui, that has been in the midfield, has been exceptional, and El Nawi as well. You know, being the defensive midfielder, but also not just defensive midfielder, but also being the trigger, also going forward. And you look at the front three. I mean, Saberi, El Kabi, Diaz have got 9 goals within the 3 of them, so they haven't changed anything. That you still want that understanding with each other, and also with an addition of the captain Hakim, I think that's one more addition in terms of the power that they have.
Solomon, Al-Kabi started like a house on fire. Hasn't scored since the group stages, though. Those 2 overhead kicks, we remember them, but they're starting to become distant memories.
Hopefully he can do that today. That's what the whole Moroccan country is hoping for the team. Yes, they have the top scorer and the team. They score a lot of goals every game they play. So I think this starting line will put Senegal in danger because, as he mentioned, Azalzoui who came in. Yes, he's a midfielder, but he likes to go forward and like to attack. So 1v1 is very good as well. So I think he can bring the difference.
Another captain, Ashraf Hakimi. He got an assist against Tanzania and missed the opening 2 games of the tournament. So he didn't play in that game against Comor, didn't play against that game against Mali. He's come back strong, though. My question today is, he's on the same side of the field as Sadio Mane. That, as we look at Hakimi, is going to be unbelievable. I mean, he's not known for being a right back who does the defensive job. But Sadio Mane is the player he literally has to mark.
Hakimi is a top player, African footballer of the year, and coming in from injury and all that, you know, some players, when you come back from injury, you will go with slow pace because you don't want no reoccurrence for what happened. But you will see every game is just go high and always running and all that. Like I said before, Nigeria, he play like the right wing, not right back, you understand. But today I don't see him go too much because he's playing against a very good
How does
player.
he not go? That's his job. That's what he does.
If it goes up, then you leave Mane alone, you know his problem. I think the coach will caution him today. If you want to go, then somebody have to stay glued to Mane because you can't leave Mane one-on-one. Because he's very experienced. He knows if he comes with Mane one-on-one, he can do something. But if Mane come with the other defender, it's going to be a problem.
If Hakimi can't go, isn't that half the job done?
I think he will go. I think this is.
You think he'll go up front?
Is in his DNA, and I think in the beginning of the game he will test that. He say, "Mane, you have to defend on me, and if you don't, then I still go, and Mane have to choose." So sometimes as a winger, when you play against a defender like that, it's very difficult because you don't know if you follow him or you stay and make him scared to stay with you.
Is that the key battle on the field today?
I think that's where it's going to be because I think both players, they're so important going forward for their teams. And I mean, Hakim, we saw him now in the Champions League Cup final. He will go forward regardless of who he's defending. And also, when he has the ball...
Regardless of who's behind you, waiting for the ball over the top.
He's such a good player.
Sadio Mane.
He is. He's the right winger. He's the right midfielder. The arrogance that he has, he will go forward. But then again, it's then how then the Senegalese now shift towards that to be able to save Mane's energy to be able to go out. Because Senegal also, they know how to play in transition. But you know the overload on the right-hand side with Diaz and Hakim, there's always going to be a problem. And you look at also who's playing behind Sadio Mane is a 20-year-old. So it's going to be a very interesting battle, especially on those sides.
I want that battle to be unpacked a little bit more by Coach Shorty as well as Pomodzo. They give us the tactics, they give us the trends, they give us how the two teams are going to line up. Can't wait for this conversation. And guys, is it really a case of Morocco's more defensive setup against Senegal's more attacking setup? Is there more to this? What battles do we need to look forward to? Give us that thing, please.
Thank you so much, Thomas. When you look at the two teams and look deeper, you look at this Senegalese team, position-based, and when you look at them, they've made the most number of passes in this tournament with 2,684 passes that they've made. When you look at their average ball position, only South Africa is better than them when you look at the dashboard of the AFCON so far. But I want to go to a illustration that will then describe what happens with this Morocco team when they go forward. I want to start with the Morocco team, Coach. coach and bring you into this when we're discussing this to say, I want to look at how they started. I want to speak about a player that has taken an opportunity and used it when I go into the telestration. Because when you talk about the telestration, I want to go and look in depth in terms of the goal that El Kabi scores in this moment. When you go to the moment, you look at the front three of this Moroccan team, correctly positioned in this instance. Then you look at the midfield three, correctly positioned. Now, this is a defensive action for Morocco. As soon as the ball is played back to Kopo, he's looking to find space in the wide areas. And when he plays that ball over the top, now is the time for Morocco to go and defend. Can they really defend? I'm looking at the three, Mazraoui, Sabri, and also up top, Sabri. They need to press, take away space and time. In this instance, look at the four midfielders of this Moroccan team. They're waiting for the pass to be played inside. As soon as the pass is played inside, you're going to see how they take away space and time. Now it becomes a 3 versus 1. Now you need to win the ball back as Morocco. Now look at tactical discipline. They win the ball. Now I'm going to spiral El Kabi. He's key, hold up play. He needs to look for midfielders to come and assist him. He holds up the ball. He holds up the ball. Now let's look at the distance between the two centre-backs. It's too big. When you're dropping in, you open up the space in behind. Look at the space that has opened up. Let's look at El Kabi, intelligent, smart. He's looking for Anawi to be able to give him that ball over the top. And one thing that he does, he makes a run into that space. And what comes next is arguably the goal of the tournament so far. The goal ya manaka-naka, ine kukoriwe ene palangene El Kabi. Goal ya manaka-naka, coach, pressing principles, the use of space in behind. How did you see that?
And the pressing principles for them is that they don't rush into a press. They do almost a midfield block. It's not a low, it's not a high block. It's a midfield block because they want you to build up first so that it can trigger their press. So speed is used in terms of deciding where they are going. Also, timing of when they win the ball. The last thing that they do is that when they win possession, the transition from winning the ball into going to attack, that is key for them. And that's how you get to see that their transitions are really great. They do the counter press, they press you when they need to. So it's important for you to bypass. If you don't bypass them, they punish you like they did to Comoros.
When you're looking at this Moroccan team, let's also look at the lineup and dive deeper into the tactics. What formations are they going to play? Now, let's look at this formation as you see them in the change room together. They are a unit. They've got the supporters outside supporting them also. Let's look at the lineup and look tactically as to what are they going to do. When you look at it, let's look at El Kabi. He's going to be the number 9. He's going to be the point of reference. Now you're going to look at also Azazuli. He operates down this right-hand side. On the right-hand side is Diaz. Now let's look at Sabri in that 8 position. Kanus in that 8. They play with a double 8 without an out-and-out number 10, coach. But let's look at some of the function. Let's look at what Hakimi is going to give us. Is that overlapping run? Mazraoui, the same on the left-hand side, he's going to give you that overlapping run. With Diaz making those late runs into the box, what is it going to form for them tactically? Is the 4-3-3 that we always speak about, the interchange of position of the front three. That is key. Let's look at the midfield 3 also and what they do in that midfield. Those are the 2 triangles, but the responsibility given to Inai today would be then to drop at times, to drop between the 2 centre-backs to give the cover. Because when you look at that arrow of Hakimi, he's going to play slightly higher up, sort of a winger in that position. The same with Mazraoui on this side. They push up, and when they push up, those are the spaces that open up. Now, what is going to be key, coach, is to close these spaces that Mane can try and head them on the side, the space on the other side that they can try and head them. Tactically, coach, that's how they're going to set up this team of Morocco. What would you add? What are the responsibilities, especially to the midfielders?
The midfielders is going to be important for them to understand that there's this block also that they create, a block of 4 between Diaz, Khanu, Saibari, and Al-Zuli. Those are the players that make it difficult for you to do a midfield press or even operate in that midfield, because that's where you find Mazraoui goes in there, Hakimi also goes in there. So the transition is going to be important for Senegal, because Agued, he loves keeping the ball when he goes because he has one of the best passes, 395 passes he's made. Massina also goes in there. Elianaoui, he's a player that replaced Saisis, who is a top midfielder and a defender for them, a senior player. He comes between the two centre-backs here to make sure that they have good rest defense. Now, we'll change and look at Senegal, what they do, because when they scored against Egypt, they made it difficult for Egypt to win that game because of the numbers that they were sending forward. Yes, they got a early shower from Koulibaly, who got injured and a yellow card. He was out. But when Sarr came in there, it made it difficult for Mamouche to play. It made it difficult for also Salah to be able to play. So it means today it's going to be important for Morocco to make sure that those spaces that Senegal creates today, they cover those. Rest defense is important. The gentleman on our right, they spoke about, is Hakimi going to go or is he going to stay? He can't stay. Stay for who? He's an attacking winger. He goes. And he goes because he knows that there's Aguerd who will cover him. Between Aguerd and Massina and Mazraoui, those are the three defenders that have made sure that in the previous game they had 12 combats and duels that they won in the last game. So we'll take you to Senegal and show you how is this team able to play. And this is how Senegal is able to play for you. Senegal as a team as they are, Mane comes into these areas because he doesn't want to be hugging the line so much. Jackson becomes their reference point, being them. And Jai is a player that understands when he goes in, he allows Diatta to go into those areas. But we'll just start with these three. These three are able to create this for you. When they do that for you, it means Diatta is able to go in there. And then we look at a player like Diouf, he's able to go into those areas because of the crosses that he's able to play in. Now then the midfield comes in. Today we see Lamine comes in. He could be going as a double 10 as well, but it's highly unlikely because Morocco plays with two attacking midfielders. So Kamara goes in there and you'll find Ghana Gay is in there and Papa Gay is in there, the left footer, because of the passes that he's able to make. He makes these passes that are going to Mane there. He makes these passes that go to Diouf on the other side. And he also has a left foot that can make a pass to Diatta that is on the other side there. Idris Gana Gay is able to say when Papa Gay moves in there, Lamine comes in here, Gana Gay stays in there. And when he stays in there, it means he's able to make those passes because he's one of the highest passes with more than 400 passes and accurate passes going forward. Now, then you ask yourself, how will they be able to have rest defense? Niakite comes in there. Sarr, the 20-year-old, is in there as well. These are the defenders that make it difficult for Morocco to counter the spaces behind. Discipline is going to be important, especially when it comes to these areas, because Diouf and Diatta will be leaving that weekend.
Okay. I want to come back and look at a illustration that we have done to be able to look how they counter press, to be able to look how they create opportunities. When you look at that illustration, we're going to look at Jackson and this ability to go into spaces. When we roll it and look in depth in terms of how they get those goals, now they are in a pressing. Look at Mane, look at Jackson. Those are the two defenders that are marking. Now you've got Papa Gay that is on the cover, giving them the cover in case anything happens in this instance. They force Botswana to go back. Now let's look at that triangulation defending. It's Mane, it's Papa Gay, it's also Issa. They keep pushing them back. Now they create a space to say, here's the triangle, here's the triangulation defending. Introduce the ball if you want to see how aggressive we are as Senegal. You're going to see as soon as he plays that ball in, good pressing, take away space and time. Now you're looking at a 5 versus 3. Good pressing coming from Senegal. Papa Gay and Adrissa Gay, very good. Look at the passing option. He can go back. But if he plays the ball back, let's look at the good pressing. You have got Jackson. You have got Ndiaye that can press. What is the second option? You go back and pass the ball back. Look at Ghana. Look at the opposite side. Ismaili. Taking away space and time. As soon as they win that ball back, this is Senegal. Let's look at the space that opens up on the left-hand side, the space that opens up on the right-hand side, the space that opens up centrally. Now the man that is in position of the ball is Gay. Can play the ball through to Jackson up top. He can go straight. He can play the ball out to the right, to Ndiaye. Those are the options that they have. They counter-press, they win the ball. And as soon as you get into that box, I'm spiraling that man. He got a brace in this game. He's He's in between 3 defenders, but in this instance, Ndiaye says, I can still give the ball because I trust the first touch. Good control to be able to compose himself. Gets in the box, he turns, composes himself. And he says, I'm a player that plays at the highest level. I'm a player that I've got a Club World Cup gold medal with me. I score goals like that, coach. That is the danger that he brings. We have shown 2 pressing moments from these 2 teams. 2 position-based teams, coach, they are coming against each other. Counter-press will be key. The spaces in the wide areas. We saw how they use the spaces. Will Hakimi go? Will Mazraoui go? Those are the spaces in the wide areas.
Pumudzo, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be beautiful. And I think the last part of this tactical piece of things is that, and these are questions I need you to answer. When Diaz, with 5 goals, goes, who's going to stay with him?
Now, you're looking at Diaz, coach, that will be operating in this area as we put them together, how they are going to set up. Now, you're looking for key battles. Coach is speaking about key battles. Now, let's look at the key battle that you're speaking about on the right-hand side. Is Diaz versus Diop. Who's going to win that battle? Hakimi is going to go up on the overlap. Now, you're talking about Hakimi. Will he be able to go all the way? Key battles once again. You're looking at Hakimi versus Mane. Those are key battles that I want you to highlight for me, coach. El Kabi comes against the inexperienced defense in this instance. Who's going to win that battle? I'm highlighting 3 key battles for you, coach. Who's going to win those key battles?
Diaz has to play with quickly, looking at time and space. If he takes too long, Diop is going to bulldoze him. He's young. Hakimi and Mane, they'll have to choose. Mane has the ability to go up and down as an attacker. However, he needs his energy going forward. Tiko mentioned to that he's going to need more energy going forward because Hakimi is used to doing that. And Aguerd will be able to cover those spaces when Hakimi goes with Masina and Mazraoui that is going to get into those areas. Between Niakate and Sarr, El Kabi was kept quiet in the previous game against Nigeria. Will he be able to make some action and be a good reference point, keep them occupied? It will be important for Idris Gina Gueye to be able to come closer to them. Now, on the other side, Aguerd has done well in attack. Masina has done well in defense. Mazraoui has done well in attack. In the previous game, he almost played like a man of the match. Will today discipline, emotional discipline, tactical discipline, and the ability to change the game perspire today? We'll see it.
Those are the key battles, Thomas. We've highlighted some key battles for you. Who's going to win those key battles? 2 position-based teams. The one that counter-presses best will be able to create a lot of opportunities. Who's going to be set in this game? That is the big question.
Thank you for the tactics. Thank you for the trends. And, you know, it is going to be fascinating when you look at Papetiao's side and how they write about his coaching style, rapid transition, high pressing, recovering the ball quickly. They have to do all of that today in this final against the 38 million of Morocco, the home fans, the 69,000 that are in those stands, and the will of the nation to try and get an Africa Cup of Nations for the first time since 1976. Those are some of the tactics. That's the story behind the story. We'll be back after the break with more.
This is AFCON, my friend. Everything is the competition.
AFCON 2025. Catch every match in 6 languages with analysis by the continent's biggest stars. Live on SuperSport, only on DSTV. This broadcast is proudly brought to you by 10Bet.
Football season is kicked off at SuperSport Bet. Get in on the action with MyBoost, our new one-of-a-kind feature that puts you in control. Pick your match, boost your odds, and supercharge your payouts. Want more? Watch out for super boosted odds on the week's biggest games. Or level up your multi-bets with Panda Power and double your winnings for this season's best odds and biggest payouts. Switch to SuperSport Bet for the football fans.
Obviously, any double penalty, I'm confident. If you can check, let the way game Ralga penalty.
Makopa. Oh, is it the upright?
Ha! Retard back. obviously teammate it was I 15 into Anamar. When I self learn at Amilo, okay, I know 15. It's one of those days. It can happen.
You want football that's absolutely unpredictable. Football with no respect for ranking, league, or history.
For the first time in their history, there's a new name on the FA Cup.
Then you want the FA Cup. It's knockout football, starting this January. It's on SuperSport. Proudly brought to you by Sporting Bet. Betting amplified.
Musha, a DSTV Diski Challenge remains the same talent pipeline. After a 6-year absence, Diski Buyela Nyamazane Stadium this coming weekend promises to be a blast from the past. Dikwena Tameti will sink or swim when they face New Look Amazulu on Saturday at 1 p.m. Asasi.
Goalkeeper stepping the wrong way.
Later, log leaders Orlando Pirates will be looking at stamping authority against not-so-gallant Marumo at 3 p.m. Sunday will not be for lovers this time when Skukune take on struggling Orbit College at 1 p.m. Later on, Chiefs have a score to settle against Masandawana at 3 p.m.
Trinity takes a shot.
Amakosi are winless against Sundowns in their last 5 meetings. Yolalibonene mzala. Siyabuya kule weekend. #Sivuta manje.
10Bet, official betting partner of Bafana Bafana.
Welcome back. There is Prince Mulai Abdallah Stadium. This is the latest visuals coming out of the stadium, and it is dramatic. Crespin Diatta, the Monaco man who's played every minute for his Senegalese side, he is being ushered off by his players there. He's leaving the field, which has meant a change, a late change for Pape Thiaw's side, and that means that they now bring into the starting lineup Antoine Mendy. What does it mean? How much experience does Mendy have compared to what is now leaving the field in Crespin Diatta, surrounded by all his teammates? Never seen that. He's not leaving on a stretcher. He's leaving with his teammates.
It's a bit dramatic, though, to say, because he's injured. They have to just take him out with stretcher, or he can walk in and all that. But do you know this is putting more pressure in the team, you understand?
You didn't like to see all the players walking with him?
Yeah, because you're supposed to be warming up and focus on the game, and you surround the player like a fowl that want to lay eggs, you know, you understand?
Maybe they're trying to make him feel better. You know, he got this close to a final and now he's leaving.
Yeah, it's one of those things that happen in big stage. Sometimes injury happens and all that, but making it seem like they are ushering him out with crowd and all that, it put more pressure on their team, you know.
Especially the one who's going to replace him.
Yeah.
He's not played. Antoine Mendy has not played 1 minute of football at the Cup of Nations. He replaces a Diatta who has played every single minute for his Senegalese side.
This is as I was mentioning before, it's easier when the game starts and you are watching the game from the bench and you can come in than the game warm up like this. And I'm sure in his mind, he didn't expect to play that game.
For Senegal already, the captain missing. Koulibaly. Then you've also got striker up front missing with a suspension. And now you have a man in the middle of the park, minutes to kick off, out of the starting lineup, key man in Diatta.
Yeah, I mean, Diatta, we know that he's more like of a key type of a player, adding more numbers going forward. There's also one of the specialists in terms of the set pieces as well. Such a very, very calm player on the ball. They will miss him.
Impact, right? Is it match potentially changing impact.
Of course it is, because the partnership that he has with India on the right-hand side, it will be impacted because you're bringing a player, Mendy, that has never kicked the ball in AFCON. So now you need to find out those synergy between the two. But yet again, as a professional footballer, you need to always be ready.
You're looking worried, guys. You are both with Senegal. You're starting to... you're looking a bit more worried.
Yeah, a bit more worried because you're bringing a player that have not even played a game in this tournament. And this is a big stage. They're playing in final, playing against a Moroccan side that is always going to press, always going to put pressure with their fans. They're like playing against 15 players in the pitch. So it's going to be tough for them.
Is it over, Solomon? Should we...
No, it's not. It's not over. I think Senegal still have the team to beat Morocco. Yes, it's a big blow for them to lose such an important player. Hopefully the guy will come in, Mendy, he will get to get the confidence.
You've got a 20-year-old at centre-back. Yeah. You've got a player who hasn't played at the tournament now coming into the middle of the park, and you're missing what was your regular striker up front when you look at Habib Diarra.
That's less pressure. So now the pressure is more on Morocco because you are playing potentially against the weakest team. So now they have to come and do the job. So now Senegal have to wait, play their game, and take the good opportunity and score when necessary.
I now need to get to Temba Boy. Temba Boy is standing by for us, and he's at our SuperSport partner venue here in Johannesburg. 86 Public is where he's at, where South Africans are enjoying themselves in the build-up to this one. Temba, how are they feeling? And it's great to know that, you know, South Africans are still out there, still are supporting the tournament, despite the fact that Bafana are out quite a long time ago.
And it's the most electrifying man in all sports entertainment. I go by the man who's standing on business, still big business. I do not roll alone. Look at these lovely people to my left. Flossie, talk to them.
Oh, man, what an incredible vibe it is this evening, Temba. A big one, the final one this evening. Who will walk away with bragging rights and, of course, be crowned the kings of Africa? Senegal taking on Morocco. And, of course, we've got some of our super fans here. We'll start off with Miguel, who seems to be backing Morocco. Miguel, Senegal is an
doing a lot of talking,
team.
Miguel. A lot of talking.
They're playing very good football. Why are you backing Morocco?
Well, why I'm back in Morocco is obviously because of Hakimi, and they've been the best club. I mean, if you saw them in the 2022 World Cup, they did make it to the semi-finals, so that was a historical moment for Africa and Morocco. So overall, Morocco has just been the better team in Africa, and that's the reason
I don't know about that, Miguel. I don't know about that. I quite like a comeback story. I like the underdog story. Unfortunately, there's no Bafana, but still we're going to be swagging it out nonetheless. Senegal have a point to prove. They have Sadio Mane. They've got a couple of experienced players. Why are you not going Senegal?
Senegal's already won it. Like, let new people win it. Like, what's wrong with supporting Morocco? Besides, Senegal's not an underdog anyways.
Ooh.
They've won it before. Morocco's the underdog. Last time they won it was like, what, 1994?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. Senegal won it a couple of years ago. Sadio Mane doesn't have anything to prove. He's an old man. He's finished. So he should let the new generation win.
I think last time Senegal won was 2021. Floss, tell them where we at. Where can they find their action? What's the place to be?
All the action is coming to you live right here from 86 Public in Randburg. And you know when 10 bets is around, it's bound to be a party. It's the AFCON 2025 final live on your World of Champions.
Thank you, Temba. They are loving that atmosphere here. But now let's get straight into the business of predicting what's going to happen. Deco, what do you think? 90 minutes, extra time. Who's your winner?
I think the game's going to end in 90 minutes. Morocco 2-1.
Simple as that?
Just simple as that.
Solomon?
I will do the opposite and say 2-1 Senegal.
Why?
Because they have nothing to lose. They're playing against a team that playing home. The pressure is on them. So.
Odion?
Even though I want Senegal to win, but the way it is now...
Things have changed. Things have changed.
Yeah, because...
I like a man who changes his mind.
No, I was changing my mind because I said before I want Senegal to win, but Morocco deserve it and all that. But I think Morocco 1-0.
Now I need to go to the tactics and the trends very quickly. Coach, as well as Pomozo, you guys were amazed, shocked when you see Diatta walking off. It pretty much changes your thinking, doesn't it? What do you think in terms of your predictions?
It's a big one, Thomas, especially Diatta missing now at right back. He's very influential in going forward. I think it's going to affect them with the threat going forward. So I'm still saying both teams are going to score, but I still feel that Senegal is going to cause an upset.
That's all I'll say. But the home team will never let it go. I see Morocco go through and win it.
So shintile.
No, ngaze ngathi
Ushintshe moyeni.
Emotionally Senegal, practically Morocco.
Senegal to take it.
I like practically. Practically, the best footballers on the continent are out on the field. Sadio Mane, a African Footballer of the Year in 2019 and 2022. And now 68% of you feeling that his side will be the side that lifts the trophy. Morocco, the underdogs at home, according to the SuperSport poll. That is a very interesting situation. The number one side on the continent, the home side at the Prince Abdullah Moulay Abdallah Stadium, are the underdogs, according to our viewers. Will Brahim Diaz score another goal and move on to 6? That is a question that needs asking. Will it be Achraf Hakimi, the current African Footballer of the Year, who lifts the trophy when the dust settles? That is another massive question. One thing we do know, you see I Show Speed there, and he will have lots to say on his social media about how good this final will be. Strap yourselves in, Africa. Will it be the Atlas Lions? Will it be the Lions of Teranga? Who will be the best lion on the African continent? That is the question that will be answered on your World of Champions, where the family meets. Game number 52 of the 35th Africa Cup of Nations is about to explode on your screens. Stay with it.
And here we are. Hello and welcome to the Complex Sportif Prince Moulay Abdallah. It's the beating heart of Moroccan football tonight as Africa crowns a champion. This is the final of the TotalEnergies CAF Africa Cup of Nations, Morocco 2025. And it brings together the continent's top 2 teams. Hosts Morocco, Africa's #1, against second-ranked Senegal, champions of 2021. It's a final rich in symbolism and history and consequence. And it's 2 sets of lions who meet here, Atlas and Teranga. For Morocco, this night carries weight of nearly half a century. They lifted the AFCON trophy once before in 1976, and they stand now, 49 years and 10 months later, on the brink of winning it for a second time. This is an opportunity they do not want to waste. The Atlas Lions have certainly made their way through a demanding path. It's been steady and accomplished, and they've had moments of the spectacular and resilience as well. But they're up against the side with a champion mindset. Senegal seem to arrive with a different aura.
Here, we're known for our sense of service. It's all about finding ways to support you. Day after day, doing everything we can to be useful and providing energy in all its forms. Everywhere, every time, all across the continent.
Let's bet on Africa. OneXBet.
Maybe it all starts here to end up there. Sure, for us, it rather starts here and finishes over there. But it also goes through here, doesn't it? But whether it's here or there, behind your screen, in the stands, or on the pitch, Orange is here, proudly supporting African football for over 15 years.
These jerseys aren't 100% polyester. They are 30% lessons learned the hard way, 50% hope, turning threads into memories, 20% triumphs dreamed and prayed for. This is Africa, 100% made of us.
Into the proverbial cauldron.
Well, you have to come with a do-or-die attitude, and you have to make sure that you psychologically you're ready for this match. These games are won more in the head than than by the legs. And that's why it's extremely important that you come into this game with the right mindset. That is the mindset: win it, win it, win it.
Here comes the trophy. This will be raised aloft by one team at the end of this fixture. But for Senegal, as much as they believe, as much as they've scored in every game, they're missing three key players today. The outstanding revelation of a right-back in Crépin Diatta. They're missing their captain, suspended Kalidou Koulibaly, and they're missing Habib Diarra in midfield. Three critical players in their journey to the final out today.
I think the one that will miss the most will be Diarra, because whosoever controls the midfield today, by my experience, is going to win this game. So that's where it's going to hurt the most.
Three very young players that come in then for those three who are missing. We'll take you through the lineups in a moment, but the fans are in full cheer and in full cry. Tonight is an opportunity for one of these sides to make a statement regarding their African football. Achraf Hakimi leads Morocco. In the absence of Kalidou Koulibaly, it's Gana Gueye who leads this Senegal side. Mutual respect and a warm embrace, and it's these moments, as much as anything, that make these tournaments so special.
Well, the captain is very important in the African lifeline. The way we live, the captain is kind of like the second the manager. He's the manager on the pitch, and it's very important.
There are a few spiritual leaders, as it were, on the pitch, and Sadio Mane stands out as one of those for Senegal, and he'll be hoping to get his hands on the trophy for a second time, having been crowned champion in 2021, and he can join a very exclusive club should he win the trophy here and now. The Senegal flag waves proudly, but my word, it is overwhelmed in sheer numbers by the Moroccan flag that is waving around the venue, that is lit up by those clad in red and green ahead of tonight's final. Both these sides unbeaten, making their way into the final with some quality and credibility. But for Senegal to win it against the hosts in front of nearly 70,000 fervent supporters will be a very rare achievement indeed. But among those hoping to stun Senegal, Morocco's Brahim Diaz and Ayoub El Kaabi.
Yes, of course, like you rightfully said, but let's not forget that no host has won this title since 2006. So that means that's 20 years.
Except for Cote d'Ivoire last time.
Yeah, but it's been no host has won it except until Cote d'Ivoire did it. Yeah. So it's not really something that you do often in Africa.
Yeah, it's a relatively rare achievement, and that weighs heavy certainly on the Morocco players. But yeah, how will they approach this time? Have they got the champion mindset to be crowned kings of Africa come the end of this fixture? Will it be in 90 minutes? Will it be over 120? Or could we see this decided on the dreaded, cruel penalty shootout? The sides make their way out behind the match referee today from the DRC, Jean-Jacques Ndala. Achraf Hakimi leading Morocco, Gana Gueye leading Senegal. The sides on this beautiful pitch lined up to hear and sing their national anthems. Le Lion Rouge, the Red Lion, the national anthem of Senegal, and now for the Sherifian anthem of Morocco. Formalities all but complete. There is fervour and passion in the house. There is royalty in the venue. And indeed, Kings of Africa will be crowned here and now this very evening. This night wears a crown, but who will be hoisting the trophy aloft come the end of this tie? Welcome to Rabat. Welcome to the final chapter of AFCON 2025. Senegal have made 3 changes from the side that started in the 1-0 win over Egypt in the semi-final. Mendy comes in at right back and Salah starts in central defence. Mendy is just 21, Salah is 20, both relatively untested. They come in though for the sick Krépin Diatta and for the suspended Koulibaly, the captain. Lamine Camara in midfield comes in for Diarra, who is missing. But Sunday Olise, what do you make of this Senegal lineup? 3 very young people who make their way into the lineup for experience. But you can't prove you can swim unless you throw it into the deep end, so to speak.
Like you rightfully said. But then again, but that notwithstanding, I think these are quality players. And, well, at this stage, as a young player, and when you look at what Senegal has been building in the past, they've been building on the youth system. So that means that these players are tested players. Salah has already proven that he's a solid player, so they shouldn't worry that much. But that notwithstanding, they are coming against a very solid Moroccan side that is well orchestrated and really know how to find the weak point in defenses.
Well, this is a Senegal side, though, that is led by the experience of the likes of Gana Gueye and indeed Sadio Mane, who attempts to become one of only 3 players to win AFCON twice and be named CAF Men's Player of the Year on multiple occasions. Achraf Hakimi and Gana Gueye with an embrace ahead of the start. Jean-Jacques Ndala of DRC is the man in the middle for today's tie. At his 4th Africa Cup of Nations, it's his first AFCON final, but not his first continental final. He took charge of the opening match, and he can finish it with the final here. Gilan Ngila and Gradel Mbilizi of DRC are his 2 assistants, and Abongile Tom of South Africa is rewarded for his consistency by being 4th official for the final. In the VAR room, Pierre Acho of Gabon leads a very experienced collection of officials. Morocco, for the 4th consecutive knockout stage match, are unchanged. Yassin Bounou starts in goal. Mazraoui, Massina, Aguerd and Hakimi in the back line. Hakimi only played a handful of minutes in the group stages, but has been ever present in the knockout stages. El Ainoui has been exceptional. He's played every minute of this campaign. Saibari is among 3 players on the score sheet for Morocco. El Khanousin for the injured Ounawi in the knockout stages. And El Kabi is the target man. Brahim Diaz perhaps the key, and the one-on-one man, Ezel Zouli, starts down the left. Sunday.
Yeah, I repeat once again, no host nation has won this AFCON since 2006 except for the Côte d'Ivoire. But this Moroccan team is a different breed. They've dominated ever since the group stages, and this is a team that is well rooted and well created well rounded by the trainer.
A sea of red surrounds the pitch, but Senegal stand firm. Morocco with one last reminder from the crowd. They are here to win. We're underway in the final. Morocco in the white with red trim against Senegal in the green with yellow trim. It is the final. History is set to be made. Africa, hold your breath. Rabat roars because we've got two giants fighting for one trophy.